total aside, I just realized I forgot to click record on the Zoom meeting, so we only have the audio from the stream to go by for when we podcastify this particular episode, because mistakes were made.
Beg your pardon. You think I'm a child?
Hot coffee in a cup. Hot coffee in a cup. Yeah.
He's wearing his nicest shirt, which
Total
really
aside,
isn't that different than his work shirt.
We're here to collect on a bounty. It's probably a bit over your head.
Let's see if we can find a crime somewhere.
Podcastify this particular episode, because mistakes were made. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I don't really have any crazy announcements other than, you know, the episodes, previous 4 episodes are on YouTube. Check that out. Gosh, do you guys have anything else? Do you guys have any thoughts, announcements, concerns, songs? No one wants to belt out a song. I thought, you know, this was
Like a ranger, not a bard. I mean,
we'll always love stew.
That's very narcissistic, Stuart.
pretty good.
When you got it, flaunt it. And my name just happens to rhyme with a very popular lyric in most songs. So use what you got.
Stuart.
I like it.
All right. I'll whatever. I'll let you have that.
There's also
So
one that goes, I don't fuck with stew.
I mean, I don't either. We just hang out. We have fun. We just play games.
I mean,
D&D night, guys. Let's do this. So, Sam, the mighty note taker who takes all of the notes, would you like to recap what happened last session?
Is that my job? I'm just a note taker. That's it. I thought I was
No.
We gave you a fancy name. You're the cartographer.
also
That's a map maker. You would probably want something more like a scribe.
Well,
Alright.
I was trying to like make it a little bit more fancy because she's also doing cartography, even though not really.
They please.
Wait, Sam, are you actually making maps? Like, is
I've been tracking diagrams and stuff way useful. I haven't posted any.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't realize that. I knew you were taking lots of story notes. I didn't realize you were like actually also doing cartography. So this just, you know.
No,
Oh my gosh.
all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
no,
Is there
that,
a
All right.
name?
Okay.
that checks out.
My metaphorically correct notes. We had a big discussion about metaphorically fake things last time around. When last we began, we started out back in the tavern run by our favorite group of tabaxi. A tall orc man wearing yellow, purple, and pink tasseled clothing entered the bar. We paid him a lot of money. He was very popular with the tower. He told a very nice sea shanty about a fair maid that he met at a port on the west side, and went on to tell us a little bit more about other stories, such as stories of the marshes in the northeast and the grass sea to the south, which brought Renningham some pause at one point. There was an exchange between the two regarding how accurate the bard's information was, which remains to be seen later. We decided on a party motto of decidedly viscous.
That's not gonna cause all sorts of
really-
interesting conversations, I'm sure.
we've all been
Certainly not.
there.
It never would.
We've all been
At
decidedly.
least it's better than decidedly moist. To the west of town, where the mines in the desert were located, that's where we had to go. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
Is it though? Is it better? Is it actually better to be decidedly viscous versus decidedly moist? Please.
That's a creepy word.
I feel like we're in a square and rectangle situation.
I don't know,
where
chat.
things
What
that
do
are
you
moist
think?
are
How about
always
you
viscous.
chime in? Which one
Things
is
that are
worse?
viscous are always moist.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. Okay. The next day, the party decided to get a nice early start. We followed Ren out into the wastes. The path took us back through the pavilion with the broken buildings. It had been cleared enough to let people by. Ren had a moment of recollection outside his former business building, or the place where he worked. The Office of Commerce no longer shared the building. There was some discussion of his mentor, who was very sad to see that the guy's name is no longer listed on the nameplate. passing through the dirty city part of town, the party inquired about information regarding Lady Eris and her untimely demise. Everyone was busy trying to get to where they were going. We were informed about halfway down to the way station from the way station to the mines is where her body was found. And guards had stopped everyone to ask them questions. Theo got us in momentum from a helpful gnome. The party started hiking to where they thought the location was, only to realize later that their folly was in that half a day's ride via train is a lot longer when you're walking, especially in the desert. There was some discussion about possibly hijacking a train. Ren tried an experiment with physics, which did not end well for him. And when we last ended, the party had decided to go camp for the evening in between kind of an exchange station for reasons unknown to the party. For strange reason. The rails made a loud noise and then kind of came up off of their holdings, and there's just chaos everywhere, and that's where we left off, as usual.
Yeah, no, that about covers it. Yes, towards the late afternoon, early evening, as you guys were setting up camp, there was a loud explosion off in the distance, and the ground began to rumble, and you watched as the rails off to the right, heading back towards the city from whence you came, shook violently and slowly rippled their way towards you, and then buckled at the interchange just a few yards away from you guys. The mechanism there that does this track switching basically pops up into the air, and the gears kind of go flying, and you can hear metal like tapping into the wooden structure that you guys are camping beside, and that's where you guys left off.
Yeah, so I'm just going for cover. I'm trying to get out of the way of the raining shrapnel.
Yep. Bad things.
Yeah, Theo agrees. Theo thinks it's a good idea, so he's gonna grab his bag, and he's just gonna book it. Well, chanting, oh, we gotta go.
Which direction are you booking it?
The opposite direction of the exploded track.
Okay, so you're heading further from the city?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Theo's goal is just get out of the giant windmill that could possibly fall on top of us, and the track that's gone up. The whole goal right now is just to get to some place where we can think and figure out what is going on.
And just kind of looks back, eyes kind of wide, and then starts following after Theo. Oh, yeah, by the way, Shelby, who plays Penn, will be late this evening. I'll be playing Penn. Just like last week, I kind of sort of played Clore. Not that Clore did a whole lot, because we were walking. Anyway. So Clore's following, or not Clore, Penn is following after you, Theo.
Is there another, like any cars or anything on the side that that Clore could just get behind?
So, to get a better description, you guys crossed over the track, so you're in between the two main lines that head towards the city.
Right.
And there's, at where the junction is, there's a large structure that has a windmill on it, and the windmill is powering like a tree trunk size shaft that's slowly rotating. And after the explosion on the one side, it has actually begun to rotate faster, as some of the load has been lifted from some of the mechanisms. And there's a clear shot heading back east towards the city. There's a kind of sort of clear shot heading west if you maintain between the tracks. Otherwise, you have to kind of go back over the tracks in order to get,
Yeah, I don't want to go back over the tracks. I'd like to go toward the cleanest path with some sort of cover.
Cleanest path with some sort of cover.
Yeah,
okay.
Is there, I'm not trying to necessarily run away. I want to just get cover.
So, you would basically be on the opposite side of the windmill structure from where the rail
I was
exploded.
just gonna say that's where I'm posting up. Is I'm using the windmill structure for cover because that's the opposite side of all the shrapnel.
Right.
I'm a follower, so I'm following these guys. They look like they know what they're doing.
Theo, is that where you ran, or did you run?
It'll be good.
I think his goal was just to get clear of any debris, so he was just like booking it down the center part of the tracks, kind of.
So everyone else takes cover, and you watch as Theo and Penn just book it down between the rails, heading further away from the city into the clearest area. Because you look up at this giant structure, and it's like, yeah, nah.
Yeah. DM, So I'm assuming it's like chaos right behind Theo and Penn right now.
After post the initial explosion and the rippling of the track, you can see that the track has been, it's pretty mangled. It's no longer seated correctly. You know, rails that would, or trains that would go along those rails at that interchange, they're not gonna bite into anything. That's just gonna end. Not a whole lot has happened though after the main. There's just a loud grinding coming from that section of track.
Okay, so DM, after Theo takes a moment to kind of like collect himself and calm down his breathing just a little bit, he'd like to propose something here. I mean, after, you know, of course, yelling out to make sure that the other three are okay, he turns to Penn and he says, I don't know if you got any torches, but I certainly got some on me. I think maybe we should, because there were all those cars what were going back and forth, right? I'm a little bit worried about this. We should give them some sort of heads up. I've got some torches. I think I'm gonna light a few. Would you help me light some if you got any and place them down so that way we can catch attention?
I like that idea.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, you.
I mean, Theo ran past us, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you guys, if you guys are staying at center, you know, like that towards the structure, here's the rails. You know, this way would be city. Theo just booked it this way. Basically where the track splits into all the different chunks. Theo is running in between where the two different sections of track are. The two main.
Yeah, I want to see if I can inspect the damage. Like, can I look around and see? Because nothing's happening right now. It's just making noise. I want to.
Nope, it's now just making noise. After the initial rumble and buckle, now you did hear a large boom off in the distance before the track rippled its way towards you.
So I want to peek around from my little vantage point and see if I can see the extent of the damage and like if from the direction of the boom, if I can see anything that far down.
Give me a
I thought we were
check.
being like pelted with shrapnel and with like.
It was only initially, as it...
Oh yeah,
Okay.
18.
Alright, so with an 18, you kind of look down and you realize that you're not high enough off the ground to really have a good vantage point to see the city anymore. It's just barely out of sight, the top of the city walls, and you can't really make out any sort of smoke or fire or any sort, you know.
From the direction of the boom, what about from the like right where I'm standing? Like if I just peek around the side to like where the.
So the windmill is now louder itself, the whooshing of the blades as it spins. Because it's now spinning faster. And the shaft in the middle is spinning faster. And the gear assembly across the way is making a loud grinding noise. As you can see that the track has been completely disconnected.
But there's no current cars coming down, train cars coming down.
Not yet.
All right. Well, hey guys, I guess we should just keep heading the direction we're heading, and let's not stand here and get blamed for this mess.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for new cars coming in, but other than that, I'm looking back but moving forward.
Let's get out of here.
So where are you guys heading? Are you guys gonna go with Theo's torch idea and set up a bunch of torches, or are you gonna just kind of?
I think if we stay around here, we're gonna get blamed for this mess. Like, if we're trying to get somewhere, let's go. And if there's something that happens in the meantime, we can try and help people. But I don't want to just stay here and wait for bad things to happen unless we can fix the train tracks.
Yeah, didn't Theo and Penn did they run away toward the direction that we were already traveling before we sat down?
Yeah, just enough to get out of, like, they were running to get out of the way of the blast, just like you guys were. So it's not like they, you know, kept running. They're not Forrest Gumping it all the way to the mines.
Yeah.
you know, I'm pretty dexterous and I have pretty good con. I don't think I could do that.
Well then, yeah, I'm gonna
running.
Get out of the way. I'm gonna continue on.
Theo, give me an insight check.
All right. Oh, okay. It's a big old 4.
Okay. And you're just, yeah. Sounds like you need to keep on moving.
All right. Okay. So Theo's decided against the torch idea.
Well, no. It's more like, yeah. I mean, it's less of that. You think of nothing. in the regards of what I was going to. Yes, you think of nothing. No new thoughts come to mind. There we go. That's a better way of describing it.
No new thoughts come to mind.
So
Theo is still worried about the possibility of oncoming cars, of course, but no new thoughts come to mind.
correct.
I don't know, guys. I think we gotta do something to at least tip them off if there's an issue down the line here. Hopefully they know something's happened way back there, but what about the cars that are headed the other way? You know what I mean?
Well, the best thing we can do is get to the destination that the cars behind us would travel into this new destruction would get to before they get to that destruction, so we can let them know not to keep going.
Okay. All right. I mean, that makes sense. That makes an awful lot of sense. But what
the
about
best
the
thing
ones
we
that
could-
were going the other way?
The ones that are going the other way, the quicker we get to where they came from, we can tell them to stop coming this way, so we should get to where they're coming from before the ones behind us get to where they're going and meet the destruction and cause more crashes.
Right. But like with that whole momentum thing, I don't know that I got as much momentum as a train car.
Well, they won't get there before we get there. The amount of time that we spend getting there will be less than it would be if we kept going from where they were coming from. So we just need to get to where they're coming out of.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Gee, William, you sure are smart.
I'm still trying to figure out who's on first. I'm sorry. Please continue.
I mean, that's correct. Who is on first?
I don't know. They're on third.
And that's what's on second. I don't know's on third. Yeah. There we go. First base. Outfield. Yesterday. Here we go. All right. Okay, yeah, so Theo is just, Theo says, gee, Rooney, I mean, you sure are smart. I would never have thought of that. All right, so I guess we should keep going, try to get to where the cars behind us were going to, and where the other cars are coming out of, so that we can get them to pay attention. Have I got that right, buddy?
Exactly.
All right, okay.
Renningham, give me an insight check.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay.
You have, as you're saying this, realize that it's been a bit longer than you would have expected for another train to come by on the opposite rail. Considering the cadence was, about 5 minutes for each change, and then you feel the telltale motion on the ground as on the right-hand side, the non-broken side, another train is coming, where a train has not yet exited.
So, as I feel it coming, I'm continuing to walk forward.
It's coming. It's coming.
We're not crossing over. I say.
We're all seeing this.
Yep. Now you're all feeling it and seeing it, but he was the one who got the realization that.
Wait. We want to get off to the side here. Wave your arms, everybody, at the same motion, kind of one of these stop motions. Stop. Stop.
Oh, Theo realizes what's going on. He starts yelling stop, waving his arms while trying to move towards the side, trying to catch attention as much as he can.
Again,
This is why we're smoking up the torches.
windmill for cover. Clore actually understood the momentum talk and realized there's no way that this is going to stop in time, so he's going to take cover.
I'm moving. Renningham is moving past where it's so the car's going that way. I'm going that way.
Yeah, Theo's following.
Okay. The car just kind of straight past you guys.
Hey.
And as it passes over the opposite side where the
Listen for a
interchange,
boom.
you do hear a distinct, as it passes over the opposite side of where the mechanism, one mechanism kind of went off. You hear a distinct click, considering that you're over that side, as it heads back towards the city. That's all you hear right now.
But he didn't explode.
We didn't hear an explosion.
It passed by you guys without exploding.
Okay.
Right, it's going toward the spot that we heard the explosion before. So we want to keep moving and get to the where that came from so that we can tell them to stop doing that.
Right, and we should do that quickly.
Sure. It's going to take a while, but go as quickly as possible. And Clore starts walking.
Walking? Yeah, indeed, we're walking.
And just
I
kind of
never
looks around.
stopped walking. I just kept going like, hey, whoa, where are you going?
So then there's now 5 of you just kind of walking down the center of the tracks,
Was it 5 of us walking 500 miles?
and then walking 500 more. Just to be the party that walked 1,000 miles.
Every 5 minutes, I'm assuming, does a train come by as we walk, or
I mean, that's the cadence that you were used to, and you're only a few minutes away from a train supposed to be coming from the other side.
Oh boy.
Right. I think Theo's gonna go with his idea of at least warning people that are heading, this way with torches. So as they walk, occasionally he's gonna stop and he's gonna take a moment or two to light a torch and drop it down and hope that maybe it'll kind of stand out in the darkening light enough that someone can notice it.
You take a torch and just kind of like stick it beside the rails?
Like an emergency, kind of like an emergency flare sort of situation.
Just the one? Do you take several?
Well, I have 10, so he's going to be pacing him out as much as he possibly can.
Alright, so as everyone else is walking, Theo is taking a lit torch and lighting the next one, and every, like, say, 15 feet or so, you're sticking one down? You're sticking them down further than that?
Feet. Yeah, I mean, the range on torches,
I guess there's like...
waiting until he gets to the point where he can't really see the light of the next torch.
Okay, so that's like 60 feet, because they each give you, in dim light, they give you like 30 feet.
Yeah, I was trying to look it up because I couldn't remember exactly.
Maybe it's not 30 feet, but you get the idea.
He's waiting until he can't, really make out the light of the last one, and then he's dropping that.
Sticking down. Okay, so just sticking down torches as you guys walk. And you only get about 3 torches down walking before a train whizzes past you, and you watch as it hits where the tracks are disconnected and shoots off to the side at 150 miles an hour and just kind of careens and barrel rolls into the sand, into the side of the mountain with a loud crash. Heading back.
Screaming?
Okay,
Not yet.
He's gonna call out to the group. He's gonna say, "Guys, we gotta."
It's several hundred feet back in the opposite direction. It's going fast enough that it basically poof, off it goes. Think drag race vehicle. Just kind of.
Right, I know the crash. Yeah. Guys, we got a problem. I think we got to turn back. Maybe we should split up. How did the group go ahead and warn people? I mean, there's a thing that just happened.
Do we have a problem?
There are people, presumably in there, heading back to the way station that they left from. They could be hurt or worse.
I pose a question to you. Have we traveled more than far enough to get back before we can get to where we need to go? Would it take more time to go back than it would to continue on?
What if someone is waiting there for medical help and they can't help themselves? No one else can help them. We are able-bodied right now. We're not injured. Can't we go and at least check and see if they're all right before we continue on? If you're so worried about warning the group, which I appreciate, why don't you continue on? And
the train car off on the mountainside just kind of starts to roll down, and then just kind of settles into the sand.
Are
in
there
between.
people on there, or was that a cargo train? We don't know. If it was a cargo train,
so we should go check.
I posed to you the question, if that was a cargo train, we go back to check, discover it was a cargo train. The time that it takes for us to go back to check, we could have been continuing on and stopped a passenger train.
All right, so we split the group. We send Chlor and you ahead to warn people up ahead, and Bob, who's good with medical stuff, will be Penn, comes with me. We'll go check and see if there's people there that need help.
Oh, my mind's telling me no, but my body says yes.
What is that song? Never Split the Party?
Yeah.
Rinningham's finding it hard to argue with that sentiment. He's okay with going on, but if they want to stay behind, who is he to say?
I mean, we got 2 medically minded people. We got Penn, who's a doctor or
medically minded,
and we got Bob.
Theo,
I push him one way,
not to speak for Penn, but I think they would be most interested in some fresh potential. How do I phrase this? They would be very interested in meeting the needs of catastrophe-stricken individuals.
And just looks at you as you say that and just blinks.
Do the horns glint a little bit?
Maybe, you're not sure. It might have. You're not confident on that.
So, can we, do we want to, as a group, talk about how potentially this accident occurred, or are we just going to continue to gloss over the fact that...
Oh, just gloss over.
Okay.
This is going to be...
I say we keep on moving. Otherwise, we have to address the elephant in the room, that is why this happened.
Yeah.
In which case, somebody appears and says, "Hi, have you ever read the latest issue of the Watchtower?"
Yeah.
Frankly, Cora, I don't care exactly why it happened. I just care that it happened. There might be people in need.
Yeah. So I think Runningham will continue forward because he's not medically minded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Theo, I don't really want to leave you, so
But my heart must go on.
you should probably come with us and let these two. I mean, we've been traveling together for a while, and I hate for something to happen.
Oh, Clore. Gee. Theo looks a little bit, touched at this. He takes a deep breath and he says, I don't necessarily feel comfortable separating from you either, buddy, but Bob and Penn, would you two feel comfortable staying back here to see if anyone needs help?
Sure, we can do that. Yeah, you go ahead and go. We're good. We got this covered.
I'll be sure to send help.
That's right, we will. When we,
If in fact the ledgers show that it was a passenger car.
Right. All right, well, thank you, Bob. And Penn, I sure appreciate it. All right, okay then, Clore, I guess I'll come with you and Ren, and we'll go ahead and we'll warn the oncoming trains.
Perfect.
So
Sounds good.
Theo, Clore, and Renningham are continuing down the tracks to try to set up some sort of.
Apparently, that is what we were doing.
Is that what you guys decided? Is that Renningham? Or are you going to go see what's in the car?
I thought I was continuing on. Everyone else was heading back towards the car.
Renningham, Clore, and Theo are on the continuing on train, and then the other two are observing.
Oh, because they're the medically minded ones.
Yeah, yes. That is in fact what has been decided.
Hey, we can fix people. Great. Go do 100 miles of extra walking.
I'm so sorry.
All right, so Penn just kind of looks over at you, Bob, and just starts not necessarily running, but they're definitely doing a bit of a light jog. There's a little spring in their step.
Excitement?
A touch of excitement, but doesn't really say a whole heck of a lot as they go and head. That's what you guys have decided.
Penn,
You just kind of
You don't have to kill yourself on this. Come on. They'll be there when we get there.
So you guys are just gonna walk. Oh. I need Renningham, Clore, and Theo to all roll me d20s.
Oh boy, I'm
Not percentile dice, just d20s. Just I need to.
Okay. Middle of the road with an 11.
a 19.
That's a 10. I'm not rolling well tonight, guys.
Okay.
It's join the club. I don't think I've ever rolled well.
It's good to know. Good to know. I'm just.
I will repeat.
Okay.
I will
I
repeat
think
for sincerity.
You're better, really.
I think it's D&D Beyond. I'm gonna get some real person die. Get some physical.
If that starts working for you, I might change over to that.
Here we go.
I'm rolling a 19.
All right,
so I'm
your
never change.
sincerity, what is it? What are we
Clackety
repeating?
clacks.
No, I was saying just a reminder that I got a 19, just for, in case the DM forgot because of the other two bad rolls. I rolled a 19.
Ow.
Yeah. We're gonna start with Penn and Bob.
Okay.
With what level of expediency, Bob, do you start heading out the some 600-800 feet that you need to go to where you last saw a giant rolling metal?
Has it stopped rolling and is now stable?
It appears to have, but that's way off in the distance.
600 feet's not exactly way off in the distance. I mean, that's
It's outside of the range you can do most
200
normal
yards?
perception checks for
I'll
details.
say that's 2 football fields.
Yeah, that's 200 yards. I mean,
That's visible, but that's a distance.
it's a distance, but it's not like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go 200 yards. Yeah. I mean, you can make that right below a sprint. You can cover the whole thing. It's not that bad. A little bit faster than a normal walking pace. I'm pretty sure it's cargo, so I'm not too worried.
Okay, so basically full move actions from Bob, and who was kind of doing.
Hold on. Let's roll that back. Why are you saying full move actions? Why are we doing actions right now? Why would you
It's
say
more for the understanding the pacing, because it's like 30 feet per round versus 60 feet per round.
Because
But
he's
if
tracking bleed damage and he's not telling.
that? I look down and there's just blood. Never had that before. I'm not familiar with that reaction to just looking down and noticing a.
Well, compared to the ones who are going to try to wave people down, you're not going to be taking full move. I got to be able to judge the distance between the groups of the party, all right? So if one's moving, it's the train problem. So if one train's moving in east at 60 miles or 60 feet per round, and the other party is moving west at 30 feet per round.
Nope, didn't have to do math. I'm not doing it now. I've made it this far.
So what you're saying is it would be a lot easier on you if both parties were moving the same speed.
No, that's not at all what I was saying. I just need to make sure I understand the speeds, because I know how to do the math. It's not... Okay.
Well, it's not whether or not you knew, just the ease factor.
Well, 60, 30, you're separating by 90 feet per round.
Okay, I was just thinking maybe making it easier, but okay.
So, alright, so Penn and Bob start heading off, and it's, 800 feet-ish away from what you guys can tell from where there's a giant slide in. You can see in the sand there's a divot where it was relatively smooth from the wind in the valley and kind of made it relatively level. There's now a huge divot, and you can see where it seemed to have hopped kind of end on end and then kind of up into the side of the hill and then slowly rolled its way down to where it has rested. Lore, Theo, Rinningham, as you head further west, what are you guys setting more torches down? What are you doing?
We're headed. What? I thought you said west.
Oh yeah, Diane's back. She made an appearance last month.
I'm sorry. What was the question? I was too focused on the joke. What was the question?
How are we doing this? Are we setting more torches down, or are we catching the attention of the oncoming trains? I mean, Theo has to have a torch, for one thing, because he is human and cannot see in the dark.
Theo can keep tossing torches.
Does anyone remember how fast these things move?
150.
Sorry, what?
Okay.
Roughly.
Miles an hour.
So
Yeah.
if we were
Yeah.
to somehow create some sort of sign, they would not be able to see it as they zoom past us.
Nah.
No,
So-
but
And we can't stop
Also,
them.
the torches.
Probably, and we probably couldn't place a rock on the tracks to stop them or
To,
derail them or
or-
slow
We
it
just
down.
we did this last time, and you know it doesn't work well.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it doesn't work. I'm saying we can't do that.
Well, now what we could do is we could hang a piece of fabric so that it blinds them and they have to put on the brakes.
You're not there.
I say, unfortunately, Bob, you are not there for
not
for these decisions.
I'll be quiet, yeah.
I say we forget it and try and get to we use our full
Speed
movement
is of
and
the
try-
essence,
and try
I
and
think.
get to the end of the rail.
Speed is of the essence.
I mean, it's a long ways off, but yeah, sure.
Well, the other two shouldn't be far behind us, Theo. I mean, they're just going to check and make sure everyone's okay, give them a little healing, and then join us.
Right, but I mean, in terms of where these trains are actually coming from, we're still a long ways off.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I just think that there's going to be a lot more accidents before we get there, but we just got to
We try our
hurry.
best to catch their attention as early as we can.
So it's as you guys are heading further west, you realize that this is after where the tracks kind of meet, and so there's more. It continues to spread out and go wide, and there's multiple lanes that converge in order to stay on the one that just.
So they could be coming from
disconnect.
anywhere. Sick.
Okay, great.
Hey, did anybody think to tell the other two that whatever the next train that comes through is also going to careen off, and if they're standing by where the first one is, they're going to get run over by the second one that careens off and goes? Or did we just gloss over that too?
I don't recall ever mentioning that.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
I didn't really think about it.
They knew the risks when they stayed behind.
So, it's not the type of thing that I usually think of. I mean, I'm more of a big picture sort of person, but I seem to miss tiny details like that.
And Theo, could you remind me, do they have if we were to have gone back to the starting point in the city, Do they have a communication device that could tell all of the other tracks that this one is broken?
I didn't see anything like that when I was there, but I wasn't exactly paying attention to that. It seemed more so that they already had a set sort of schedule that they were working on, and that they just kept things going like work, so they never had any sort of concern for needing to call ahead or notify people of any sort of difficulties. They had a system in place.
There's always like some difficulties, like they have to have some sort of. DM, do you think I could remember back to being in the tunnel or at the train station, and like, was there anything that they were communicating on when trains would come in and come down, or was it just a guy yelling, like re-greasing and yelling on and off the track?
Give me, I'm trying to think of what this, because it's like relatively recent memory, but you're looking for details in relatively recent memory. Is insight's intelligence, right? Based, right?
Wisdom.
Insight's wisdom. Then this would be I guess give me a history check.
I could just do a general intelligence check.
We'll do a history check.
They're the same.
However,
dirty 20. Sorry.
I was gonna say with disadvantage.
Too late.
Right.
Too late. No, it's too late. You already rolled. It's too late. The dice rolled as the dice played. It's
okay. Well, now we're at a 6.
No. You rolled it was a 20. Please.
So you think back, scratch your head, and you weren't the one talking to the gnomes that were running back and forth. Trying to figure out how the tracks work. You were more just keen on like, are we getting on a train or are we not getting on a train? I don't know. It's a train, like whatever. You do remember a lot of yelling as they were like clearing the track to, as the next train came in, but that's about all you can recall.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it makes sense to me that there would be a communication device, because otherwise, like, if something like this happens, we can't cover all these tracks because it looks like all of them converge right here. So even if we went down one of them and told them to stop, the rest of them would keep going. So we can either continue this, or we can hustle back to the start where we know that they have people and we know how far it is and hope they have a communication device. Or we can just complete our mission and hope that everybody's okay on their own.
Well, I'm sure wherever we're going, they would have someone that was in charge of communicating with the destination that they're sending the cars to.
You would think.
So, continuing on.
Let's go. Let's do it full speed then. Let's run.
All right, I'm geared for a sprint. Let's go.
I have short legs though, so either I
You
need
can
to be
hitch a ride with me, buddy.
All right, I'll hop right on Theo's back.
No questions asked.
Rin, how much do you weigh again? How much is your little 3'5", just
What was it, like 80 pounds? Let me double check. Where would those go?
80 pounds.
I'm a thick boy. Oof.
Yeah, you're 80 pounds.
I am 80 pounds. Yeah, 80 pounds. Where'd my height go? I thought I had
Right, now I need to know.
I'm scrolling.
I've got 76 pounds on me. My carrying capacity is 225.
Nailed it.
Push
That's-
dragger lift
yeah.
is 450.
That's what I was looking for. I was like, oh gosh, where is that going to be at with
3'6".
Yeah, you're 3.5 feet. 3.5 feet tall, 80 pounds. You
a sturdy farmer boy.
a thick boy there, Ringham.
Love it.
A unit.
Absolute unit.
Like a well-grown potato.
Anyway, so Ringham kind of climbs onto your back, Theo, and you're able to just keep on trekking. You just torches in hand, like, you're like, man, I wish there was a language to an alphabet system to use with torches.
I swear once upon a time my younger brother told me something about some sort of language with flags. Too bad I didn't really pay much attention. Was really more interested in taking care of the farm at the time, so I'm sure that would have been useful at some point.
DM, as we run, I do have an idea that I'd like to keep to myself. And the next time I see a train moving
Why would you say that?
on the tracks, I would
because
I want to keep I'm saying
Okay.
I have a secret. Everyone,
So you're
I have a secret.
so
I'm interested.
you're readying an action as you run, and the trigger is
yes.
when a train is approaching. Okay.
The trigger specifically is when a train is
Within how many feet of you?
within 60 feet of me.
Okay. Fine. All right. So, we're gonna jump back to Penn and Bob, as you guys are running towards the train car. You don't see much in terms of any sort of light source, short of a very dim glow from inside the train. However, there are lots of things that have been sprawled about in the sand as you guys approach. You can see more. There's bits of metal, there's bits of wood and gearing, glass.
There's damage scattered everywhere.
Parts of living or once living entities.
Humanoid or lunchish?
Kind of hard to tell, honestly.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can tell the difference between a rabbit paw and an orc's paw.
They learned that orcs have paws. If in its current state, give me a nature check. Sure, just give me a nature check.
Alrighty. Yes.
What is your
I
total?
rolled big, 7.
You know for a fact that it is meat.
I know for a fact if I put it on a grill, it will cook up.
It will cook and probably give you protein.
Okay.
And there is a lot of it strewn about as you continue to approach.
Well, I'm gonna like pay attention and kind of look, because it's really important to know whether this is sentient or non-sentient. Because one of them you worry about, the other one you don't. So that's going to be my focus, and listening for the moaning of any suffering, shall we say.
So, as you slow down, I guess, to contemplate the quality of meat that is sitting in the sand.
It's creepy.
USDA Prime.
Penn continues and slowly approaches the giant metal structure. And it, at this distance, you can tell, has taken a hell of a beating.
Right.
What easily was fitting about 150 to 200, men on it, looks like there's a degree of accordioning where it kind of scrunched. The ends are particularly mangled. Almost all of the glass is shattered in some form or fashion. There is, some of the wheels are missing. You can actually see them kind of off in the distance from where they broke off as it rolled down the hill. And short of the faint glow of one of the few lanterns that the glass is broken, but the flame stayed lit. It's
and nothing
silent.
was caught on fire.
And dark.
Okay. All right. So I'm just checking with Penn. So what do you make of all this?
Well, looks a lot
We should
like
record this so we can
there's-
play it back. This is the DM's impersonation of Penn.
Looks like there's a, I don't want to look inside because there's a lot of things that are damaged. Oh, speaking of Penn, Penn is here. And Penn can now be themselves and can answer your question for you. Total aside, I just realized I forgot to click record on the Zoom meeting, so we only have the audio from the stream to go by for when we podcastify this particular episode, because mistakes were made.
Hour.
I can start it, and we can marry it later and actually have clean audio after that. So we'll just go back to this. Okay, now everyone's here. So, Penn, Bob just asked you a question as you approach the metal
So slowly rolled to a stop down a giant sand dune of a train that was carrying cargo. Hopefully it was cargo. Hopefully it was not live cargo.
Well, I think, as far as Penn's concerned, cargo is live cargo.
You're not wrong.
I think we might have established that it might have been carrying live cargo, given the definitely meat around it.
The chunks have gotten larger as you continue to approach, and you can see that there's more kind of strewn up the hillside from where it, barrel rolled down.
Well, What was Bob's question to me?
Bob's question was, hey, does this look like bits and pieces of sentient or unsentient meat? Essentially, how much am I supposed to care about this situation?
Minimal. It's a resource at this point.
Cool. So let's continue inspecting and looking and seeing if there's any survivors or anything shiny.
Do you look inside? Do you go?
Yes, of course we do.
Yes, I want to explore the wreck.
It was human cargo, or humanoid cargo.
Wait a minute. You didn't tell me this was headed to Auschwitz. What the hell?
Are we talking slave trading here?
They appear to be, dressed in the mining garb. There's men, there's elves, there's orcs.
Okay, so they're passengers.
A couple of dwarves.
And they're all dead-orama? There's no signs of life?
Not
And
at a cursory
brings
glance.
his fingers up to his lips and makes a shrill whistle and just yells out, "If you're alive, please groan!"
Sam, since you look the least comfortable with this situation, I would like you to roll me some percentile dice.
Okay, all right.
Is Theo and Rinning and Chlor, are they close enough to hear?
I don't think we're close
Penn
enough.
Screaming about this stuff?
All right, question, DM. That's the D100, right?
Correct.
That's a 23, DM. I'm getting better, but still not good on a percentile die necessarily.
That's promising. That's promising.
For you or for us?
Penn, you hear a very faint from inside, a very faint groan from inside. However, the doors are jammed, and the only real ways in without tearing those sides off are the windows that are nice, sharp, jagged glass. Also, my cat just brought me a toy
Aww.
because he loves to play. Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so I guess we're just going to have to find a way in so that we can save this poor moaning person that I can't hear, that only Penn can hear.
So from what you recall of the insides of these trains, they were standing room only. So there's just there's a lot more space in it than you would have expected, considering it was standing room only, and these were kind of going back and forth pretty filled to the brim. People were kind of squeezing themselves on to not miss the train for their shift.
Is the doors to the train jammed like something is... How would they be jammed?
So they slid, and so as it rolled, it crunched the rails that they slid on. You can't pry them open.
Can I blast the hole in it?
How would you like to blast a hole in it, Penn?
Can I please cast Magic Missile and cast the hole into the door?
Let's go.
So magic missile always hits, so you just need to roll damage for each of your
That's right.
each of your
My
attacks.
bad. I haven't played a wizard before.
No, you're good. I just figured it. So you should get, I believe, 3 missiles.
You do?
Pretty sure. Isn't it 3, and then you get 1 for every level beyond?
Oh, so I gotta roll it 3 times?
Yeah. You create 3 glowing darts of magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within range. Oh, it's supposed to hit a creature. But you know what? For the sake of fun.
I love the sake of fun.
I do too.
We love it when the DM uses the rule of cool.
So, Penn, you kind of have to climb up onto the side of this a bit. It's on a slight angle and it's embedded slightly into the sand, and you kind of get up there and you see that the door is kind of jammed, and you take your glowing green energy that is your magic missiles and you fire off 3 bolts all in the same spot on the door, and you can see that it has created a dent about the size of a softball in the side of the metal door.
Rude. Penn shrugs. Well, I tried to open it. I mean, unless you have a better suggestion, Bob, that he's stuck in there and we're stuck out here.
And you guys without a shovel.
This is the only entrance, right? As we poke
There's-
our way around this box, we don't... I mean, it
There's
seems that
lots
there
of
should be
broken windows. There's lots of
Okay,
broken
so
windows.
we could go in through a window in theory.
Yeah.
All right, let's find us a window and make sure that we don't cut ourselves on glass and shimmy inward, stepping on remnants of dead bodies to try and find one that's not dead. There's one's
Well,
mostly
can we
dead.
use one of the dead bodies to break out the rest of the jagged glass at one of the windows so we don't hurt ourselves?
I don't know how you would convince a dead body to do that, but I would, if they were to do that, that would be kind of nice.
I think we can just borrow his arm. There's one right here. And
Oh, okay, let's
it's
do
not
that.
Connected to anything.
Oh, that's so gross. But okay. And if you pull it right here, it makes a fist.
I make a high five with it.
Oh, God, this is horrible.
So it is a dirty, bloody humanoid hand. The skin is kind of roughly...
I have gloves on.
I'm describing the arm that you picked up. It has a slight tannish green hue to it. It's a pretty hefty size arm, you know? It's got, you know, between the arm, hand, it's got some, you know, it's basically elbow down of someone whose arm is bigger than yours.
Perfect.
But you're just using it to clear glass out of the window.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so Bob's gonna find us a window. We're gonna take Mr. Arm here. And we're just gonna use it and push any of the remaining glass in the window away, so that as we were to climb in and or out of it, we wouldn't get hurt.
All right,
The hand
so-
would take all the damage.
You use this dismembered arm to, you know, break the glass around the side of it. And, you know, where there were several inch long shards, there's now like, it's just a kind of a rough glass rim, and some of it that's actually like completely fallen out. There's a substantial amount of cut glass and people who've been cut by glass and metal and things fumbled around all inside as you look down into this car. And after a few quiet-ish moments of you messing with glass, a noise comes out between the clinking of another soft groan. And we're going to pause there
After you, Bob.
and go back to Rinningham, Theo, and Clore, as you guys have continued to head down west, trying to find a way to warn the trains. Clore, you have dark vision, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
I do too.
Okay, so actually the both of you guys
that's special.
off in the distance on the opposite side where the track is still intact, see another train kind of way off, slowly approaching a dark spot that's moving with a faint glow as it begins to approach.
Okay, is it on one of the tracks that I'm directly next to?
So it's kind of several out. So it's probably, the track itself is like 30 feet away from. So if you're walking in between and there's now rows of tracks, each track has its own, you know, chunk of width. It's several tracks down. So if it were parallel to you, it would be 30 feet.
I would like to immediately, upon seeing this train, I would like to cast Create Bonfire in the middle of the track that it is going down about, well, if it's 30 feet away, I could do 60 feet. So past behind us, but on the track that it's going down as far
Okay.
as I can go.
So you cast Bonfire, and there on the track, you watch as magical energy just kind of swirls together and creates a large fire. How big of a fire does that make? Is it only 5 foot wide?
It's a 5-foot cube. It ignites only flammable objects in the area.
I mean, it'll slowly smolder the railroad ties, but they're kind of made to...
Right. So I want to just hold it there as a concentration. So I just want to hold it there until the train gets closer, and I want to see if I can notice if it's slowing down or not before it gets to the bonfire.
How far away is the bonfire from where we are?
30 feet.
So can I run up 20 feet and noticing that what he's trying to do, cast prestidigitation and do a little firework, a little shower of sparks.
Does prestidigitation last for some razzle-dazzle?
Duration is an hour. Range is 10 feet.
Which from you is like...
So if I run up 20 feet to get to the 30 feet away from us that it was, a little
shower of sparks. So okay. So you watch as just slightly above, you know, the height of where the bonfire would be lit. You know, as Rihanna, or not Rihanna, Rinningham is running.
I thought you said Rihanna.
Well, no, Rion is okay. So I have a D&D character named Rionarlo da Vinci,
Who I love very much.
and sorry, when my brain went to R words and Rion came instead of Rinningham. Anyway, Rinningham is you running out. You cast prestidigitation, and what you were hoping for was, you know, a fireworks show of the, you know, you're thinking V for Vendetta when they blow up the Old Bailey, like da 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 da. And instead, you get more like, do you remember those toys as a kid where you know, pull the trigger a couple of times and it like has a wheel that spins and spits out sparks at the end? There's like a little, it's like that, but like a little bigger. So
No,
you're
I
kind of
have-
shooting about 6 to 8 inch
I can do big
sparks.
sparks. I can do big sparks.
Yikes.
Roll me an Arcana check. Fine. Roll me an Arcana check. Let's see how much bigger these sparks can be.
I mean,
Oh, please
and
roll
also,
a natural one.
Oh, it's Arcana. It's just a
Just so
straight
we're
roll.
aware here, DM, our 3-foot little guy is currently sitting on 6'1" Theo's shoulders. So
Okay, that's true.
Little bit of height.
I immediately regret using real dice because that was a naturally 1.
Yes!
How?
I
Why
needed
can
that.
I not escape this? Come on, dude.
So you're like, I can do this, and you're like casting it above you, trying to get the extra height, and you can see what looks to be a little twinkly ball of white and yellow sparks.
Thank God.
It's about yay big around, just as it just kind of sparkles up in the air.
all right. So
I'm
noticing what's
doing
going
my
on
part.
here, you are, but I think it would be helpful if we started yelling at them too to see if maybe they can hear us. So Theo is gonna start yelling as loud as he can, just trying to catch attention, like, hey, stop! He's got Ren on his shoulders, gotta support him with one arm, but with the other one, he's waving the torch around,
Theo.
trying to be as loud and obnoxious as possible.
Theo, I appreciate that, but they're moving at 150 miles an hour.
I know, but they gotta at least know something there. I mean, there's gotta be something they can do. Maybe, like, reroute to a different train track? I don't know.
Okay, keep yelling. Hey, Renningham, I think you should help him out.
So I know of a way to make. Well, no.
Trying his best here, man. He's not a caster yet. He has 2 more levels.
Good old half cast.
I'm just gonna sit and wait.
I got
Does it look like he's slowing down? Does it look like the train is slowing down at all as it gets closer?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, don't fail me now.
My camera's frozen. Can you still hear
Yes, we can still hear you. Your camera definitely has
All right.
a connection.
Oh man, it was so cool though. You were looking stylish.
I rolled a big 3.
You are having a very hard time telling. Train is definitely moving fast, but if it's slowing down at all, it's not enough.
All right, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the bonfire up and let it go right through it and see if it catches on fire, and hopefully that'll stop.
It just kind of, and you just can hear it just rattle as it goes in the ground, shakes as it continues down. You can watch as it kind of, the lights, you can see that there's a couple of lights inside it as it's gotten darker into the evening, and it, clicks off or onto the next track and keeps going.
I'm gonna very lowly just look back and be like, "Oh no, watch out!"
Right, yeah, the yelling and the sudden
the Willy
stops
Wonka.
the train.
Oh wait, no, don't stop.
And yeah, exactly. And then I'll let the bonfire die because it's clearly pointless.
Or thank you
Now-
for what you did. That was thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Now you have noticed there hasn't been another major, track buckling eruption on the other side.
That's good.
But there also hasn't been a train that has come from that direction at all. And you now know for sure that there's multiple trains, so it's going to be kind of difficult for that to happen.
Oops.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just keep going, I guess.
So we're going to switch back to Penn and Bob as you climb into the car. There's not much space where there isn't people.
Hamburger?
There's a lot less hamburger inside the car. It's more just very obviously crunched and uncomfortable ways of kind of getting, lost control. Oh, we lost.
That's okay. We're not on him. He has time to get it rebooted.
That's true. So what do you guys? You climbing inside. You've cleared it off. Penn, what do you do with the arm? You have an arm. It's now very bloodied, even more so bloodied. It now has lots of strips of hand missing.
Oh, I just tossed it in the pile of other decaying resources.
And you hear
If I hit you with the arm, please groan again.
Well, that's the direction we need to go.
Correct.
All right, let's go find him.
You take a couple steps in, and all of a sudden you hear, "Ah!"
Ah, you.
I think we found him.
All right, let's take a look at him and assess the damage.
And at your feet, there's a face kind of looking up at you, and its mouth is agape, and its eyes are wide, and one of them is like very kind of just puffy. It looks like it's just taken some hits, and the eyes are just looking up wide at you, and there's enough soot and other nasty. It's hard to tell much more details about him, and he's making gasping faces and noises as he's trying to figure out what's going on.
I think it's going to be safer if we haul him out of here and then assess his wounds instead of sitting in here and something going wrong.
I don't know. Is he alive enough to where we can get him out?
Can I quickly do a medical assessment of his injuries?
Yeah, do
Come on, Doc. What do you think?
Better yet, do an investigation check first.
21.
So you have determined that there isn't a lot of him kind of showing. He looks to be kind of partially buried in some of his coworkers. So you're going to probably have to dig him out first before you, properly assess him.
Digging.
So can Bob and I try and hoist him out of his heap?
We can move all of the bodies that he is pinned under to the side so that we can extract him.
Yeah, we'll just roll them off carefully to another pile.
All right,
Carefully?
give me some...
No, I don't know that it's going to be careful. I think it's going to be more like, ooh, ick, ooh.
Meh. I think Penn's using his tail to try and whack them away as quickly as possible to get to the live ones, to be honest.
That's possible.
Give me some strength checks, all you guys, the two of you. Hey,
All two of us.
Stuart's back.
Back.
16.
All right, so 16 for Penn, and Bob rolled just a check, not a save.
Oh, come on. I like the save.
I like my rolls.
So just push the should be the big box. Yeah, there we go.
I'm not smart enough to do that. Oh no. Oh no. Now rolling like 13. Hang on.
That's me.
No. I had like a whole truckload of D20s rolling. So that's 9 plus 2. So that gets us up to an 11.
So you guys kind of just start moving body parts, and as you continue down, you can tell that the drier pieces are kind of on the top as things have been settling for a little bit as you guys have run over, and you are slowly able to uncover more of this man. You can see that his torso definitely has some puncture, some breaches, and one of his arms, while it's not missing, it's not exactly in a usable state. Jen, that's just without even running a medical check. You're just looking at him.
Okay, so he's monkeyed up then.
And
right,
he's also not quiet as you guys are doing this. I just don't want to make lots of anguished
yeah,
noises because
Clearly, he's in pain.
All right, so let's whip a little healing on him and see what happens after that. All right, so let's just do us a little healing here. There we go. Got 6 points of healing coming up.
So you watch as some of the more obvious wounds, like his eye, the puffiness, the swollenness around slowly shrinks a little bit. The hole in his side also shrinks slightly, and his arm stops bleeding as profusely, but that's about it.
Huh.
And he's still appears to be in severe amounts of pain.
Huh. These guys are
And
all
he's just looking
squishy.
around wide-eyed, now that you can see both eyes more clearly, and he's just screaming in pain.
If this guy's gone nuts, I'm going to be mad if I wasted a spell on him.
Ignoring the screams. We're gonna. Can we pull him out yet?
Do you want to try to just pull him out from his torso that you have so far?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll just use your rolls from before. You realize that you're going to have a hard time, like, gripping him properly. There's no good footing as you were moving stuff around, and, you know, his one arm appears to be mostly intact, and whereas the other one is quite battered up, so getting yourself under him to be able to start pulling on him. And you can see that there are other coworkers laying over where his legs ought to be, and as you pull, you can see that his legs are pretty mangled up as well, and so they don't come out as smoothly as they would if they were intact.
Are they still attached to his body?
They're still attached to his body, but they are, luckily with a heal check, there's a lot less bleeding that's going on, but they're not necessarily usable. He needs more than a quick magic. Here's some healing.
He needs a long rest.
Let's just say
You guys
he's
saw that
one
video,
point of
didn't you?
exhaustion away from just gone. It's gonna be a couple of long rests.
He needs a trip to Cancun.
Too bad his family missed out on a really lucrative insurance payout.
Aww. You know, we could still stab him and they could make the payout. Oh, wait, no, I didn't say that out loud. My bad.
I mean, I'm sitting here contemplating maybe we should slap him and see if we can shock him into listening for a second and just ask, do you want to survive this?
Your motivations baffle
Be
me.
better.
He
Penn?
screamed even louder as you were pulling him because, you know, that is what that would hurt.
I have invested a spell on this guy. He'd better live.
Right, then let's call him out.
Yeah, let's haul him out. Let's bandage him up and haul him out and bring him out into the really hot blazing sun with no water so he can like dehydrate. Oh wait, so this is just getting worse and worse, isn't it?
I mean, it's nighttime, so it's going to be a really cold desert really soon.
Oh, awesome. He can hyperthermiate. That's not even a word, is it?
No, but it'll preserve the muscle tissue faster.
Okay, let's extract him.
We continue hauling his butt.
There's not a whole lot of struggling that he can do, luckily.
Clearly.
A lot of screaming, though.
There's a lot
In
of
our
screaming.
favor.
And it's in your faces, it's in your ears. It's to the point where his voice, in a very short period of time, has gone from just a clear, painful scream to a very raspy, you know, he's just wearing out what little of his vocal cords are left from such an ordeal. Screaming.
I've been around babies before. He's an amateur.
And yeah, you're able to slowly pull out a single person. Judging by their ears and it's nighttime and you guys both have dark vision, so you can't tell much other than by the ears and stuff. He looks to be elven or half elven.
Okay. And poking our head back in, do we hear or discern any further signs of life?
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation. That's a 19.
I see a modified 20 because you got a +1 on investigation.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I didn't see that. That's awesome. I'm glad you saw something I didn't.
Yeah, modified 20. So you peek your head in and you really carefully try to tune out the screaming man who is laying in the sand but a few feet from you. And
He like nearly mute at this point.
I mean, you tell me what happens after you scream for a few minutes in pain, and we'll just, I guess.
Usually you pass out. You usually just pass out.
This guy.
Shock sets in.
I mean, he was just groaning until you stepped near him, so then the screaming starts.
Yeah, he should be going into shock real soon, so he'll be quiet. We'll just have to keep him alive.
Then he'll be real
You're
quiet.
so pessimistic.
I prefer to think of it as opportunistic.
Okay, it's a matter of perspective. I can see that.
Anyway, you do in fact hear another relatively faint, deeper tone kind of groan. Just this one does sound slightly gurgly, and I can't replicate that.
That's cool.
What, back in the train?
Yep.
In the train, yep.
Nope,
Big-
sorry. We already did one good deed today. I'm maxed out.
On
got
that
another one.
note,
I'm
we're
going-
gonna go jump back to to Theo, Renningham, and Clore before Penn decides whether or not to do a second good deed for the day. We're gonna come back to that. Theo, Renningham, Clore, as you guys continue to head down the tracks, a few moments go by and the train just continues to rumble off into the distance.
Oh, we'll try the next one. Let's go.
Right, let's keep going.
All three of you, give me an insight check. I just want to see who figures out something that should be obvious, but I want to see if you guys are too panicked to make a certain discernment.
It's even worse than before. That's a 3.
All right,
Not 1 plus 2.
I got a 12.
Got a 19, please.
There it
Oh,
is.
thank God.
Yes.
Wait, so Theo, what did you roll in the die? What did you roll?
I rolled a nat 1. That's our
look!
second nat 1.
Another naturally one of the
can't-
night.
Yeah, we need one more,
I
right?
can't with you people.
We need one more, right? We said something about 3 nat 1s or 3 nat 20s in one session, or one
Let's do
away.
it. Haven't set that record yet. So, Renningham and Clore, you remember the back and forth cadence where they kind of each are staggered by a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Clore, as you kind of spent your casting efforts on I'm going to call it the northern track, because as you guys are heading west, it's on the right-hand side. You know that one, since that one just passed, and the way things are kind of going, you've got a few more minutes before there's another train that shows up on one of the tracks on the opposite side,
Which is the bad side.
which is the bad side.
Oh no.
So, how far have we now gotten from our other two?
You guys are, at this point, because you went in opposite directions, there's at least a quarter of a mile between the two of you.
Yeah. What do y'all want to do? Want to keep going? Let's keep going. Or
We can only keep going.
we're running.
Yeah. Keep moving.
We're moving full speed, loud,
Running.
and reckless.
We have the balls, and they are to the wall.
Yes.
Just doing our best here, okay?
The pedal is all the way to the metal, as it were.
The throttle is
We've done-
full.
I am going to try again when the next train does come, now that we kind of have adjusted the cadences in our head of where they're kind of coming from.
Okay. So as you run west, it's only about a minute and a half later before you see a dark dot out in the distance that has a pale light kind of in the middle as another car appears to be coming about 4 lanes out, so about 40 feet, the fourth track in from where you guys are at.
All right, and I have a question about this spell,
Which spell?
the Create Bonfire.
Oh, okay. What's your question?
So it says on it that the bonfire ignites flammable objects in its area that are not being worn or carried. So if I were to, let's say, light a bonfire and then I stop the concentration of it, would all of the objects that caught on fire remain on fire, and then
Yes.
just the
Yes,
bonfire
it
itself?
becomes natural fire at that point.
Okay, so I would like to try, as this train passes me, to light it on fire and cast the Create Bonfire in the frontmost part of the train itself. So that even though as it flies by me, and it'll leave my 60 feet, I'll have 120 feet, right? And it will leave my 60 feet and the spell will end. I'm
The
hoping
train will
that
still be on fire. and
inside of
hopefully
the
stop.
train, anything flammable has caught on fire.
So we're setting.
So then people freak
So
out.
you
I
want to
see.
cast it.
Do they hit the emergency stop?
You want
Yes,
to cast
no,
it.
that's
You want to
the-
figure out a way to cast it inside the train cabin.
As soon as it enters my 60 feet in front, I want to cast it before it exits my 60 feet in the back. So I should have 120 feet of the train going by me where I can just cast the spell on the train and hope that things inside catch on fire. And if they don't, they don't. But if they do,
I'm not there. I can't contribute.
I know. I want to add so much to this discussion so badly.
yeah, no, I just want to light it on fire, please.
Split the party.
I still.
Yep.
So. As
I see the train coming, I'm talking this through. And,
You're telling us what you're planning?
hey guys, here's my idea. I'm gonna light the train on fire.
You know what? Try it. Sure.
And he tells me his plan, and I start humming such a new tune, something that's never been heard before.
that sounds eerily similar to the Rocky theme. And I give him bardic inspiration.
Oh.
Yeah.
And as the train passes, Chlor tries to cast his magical spell. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Wow.
For me?
Hey, for me?
Chlor, roll me a dexterity saving throw as the train whips past.
You do get a
Can I-
D6. that you
I was
can
gonna
add
ask,
to
what
any
does
ability
bardic
check,
inspiration
attack
do?
roll or saving throw. This
Do
can
I
be
have to do
added
it?
after seeing the roll, but before
That's
knowing
what
the
I
outcome.
needed.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, 18.
Let's go.
Here's the thing.
You don't need to.
I'm
use
gonna use it
What?
anyway.
What?
How long do I have to use it?
10 minutes.
Uh,
I mean, you-
Okay, I'll save.
you
No,
do
I'll
the
save
rule.
it.
You,
No, I'll
you know
save
what?
it because
if you want to do it, I mean that's up to you.
I'll save it in
You
case
have a
he needs
D6.
it
You
again.
have a free D6.
well, based on the thing, the train won't come from that way again for 10 minutes, so it'd probably be out. All right, I'll save it. 18. I'm gonna hope is good enough.
Dex check. It wasn't a cast check.
Well, yeah, it's an instantaneous cast, so it does 1d8 of fire damage if it were on a person. I don't know what that means for. I don't know. I'm hoping it's on fire.
What's the
18.
person to train car ratio?
So, you guys watch as the train whips by as Chlor blasts out a small pocket of like orange reddish energy, just kind of, and it splashes against the window of the train as it passed by, and you watch as the window just kind of ignites for but a fraction of a second as the fire is basically dragged across the glassy surface, and then the fire just remains floating there on the side of the train.
Oh, it was a higher DC. I should have used the inspiration.
Right.
No,
So,
no.
Theo-
I have a theory.
Magic
My,
protection.
my
on these
theory
train
is that
cars.
Doug, as DM, did not want to do 260 saving throws for not only the passengers, but their clothing.
That's true. All right. That's probably true. All right, DM. At this point in time, Theo's got a question for the other two. He says, guys, I got a question. Our sprinting, is that actually helping? I mean, we're here. We saw one train coming, that way, and other trains coming from that way. Would we be better off staying right where we are and trying to find a way that works?
Chlor, I want you to roll me some percentile dice.
We're trying to see how many people caught fire on the inside of the train.
I need you to roll me some
21.
percentile dice.
Heroes 100. Oh no.
Shoot.
21.
As far as you can tell, as you are intently watching this train, trying
Of
here,
course. Hoping that it's on fire.
it is not on fire, and it's also hard to tell if it's slowing down.
Alright, well,
And I'm just thinking here, right? I'm not good at much. I'm not the smartest person ever. I didn't think at all about half the stuff that you two pointed out. One thing I am good at is archery. I got arrows. I got a torch. I don't know that it would be really useful, but that would certainly be something that they could see in the air, right? Maybe.
So
It's not an unreasonable hope.
here's a thought. Do I remember where the emergency stop was inside the trains? Did we get a view inside the cars where there was like the
You
emergency
mostly
stop?
saw people just piling into them. You didn't get in any of them to really
You
see
didn't
any
mage
of
hand?
that mechanisms.
No, I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I was gonna mage hand. Mage
at
hand.
150.
Just roll, just crazy shot. Just start casting mage hands inside there. Start pulling at stuff.
Yeah, I think we just keep trying every time a train goes by. But no matter what we try, we should keep moving so that in between each
100%.
one we get
100%.
further.
All right,
and further down.
okay.
We're still going
Can we just picture for a second how terribly that could have gone if he had just started casting mage hand and like accidentally started like groping people or like smacking people?
They wouldn't know.
Well, it probably would have stopped the train.
So I'm gonna describe something because there's weird implied physics when it comes to mage hand, and I personally haven't decided how that works yet, because what happens to mage hand when it is cast and interacting with a moving object? Mage hand can only
Moving
move, what,
with the
5
object.
pounds of material. So
10.
that's 5 pounds of force. If something is moving at 150 miles an hour,
10 pounds of
and it
force.
grabs onto something that's moving at 150 miles an hour, does it suddenly
10 pounds.
yank them with 5 pounds of force?
It's 10 pounds. It's 10 pounds of force.
No, oh, even better.
Yeah.
You realize at 150 miles an hour, that has the potential of turning their head, because a head is a 10-pound, roughly. It's basically like slamming a bowling ball into someone's face. at 150 miles an hour. Just so you know.
Just putting it out there.
But we
Okay,
don't even know if
we
there's people.
kill the conductor.
Nah, we don't
I
know.
just,
So it
I
seems
just
like it would
figured
work.
I would, if that's how the physics works of it. Otherwise, you're just grabbing a moving object and suddenly your mage hand is out of range. It's one of the two, and I haven't decided yet because I wasn't expecting to have to come up with these decisions. Anyway,
All right,
so you know you have
got
a
a
few moments
crazy-
before another train shows up on the other track.
I got a crazy idea here, Renningham. How do you feel about holding onto the torch and when I tell you to, lighting an arrow on fire so we can try to see if maybe we can catch some attention by shooting a couple up in the air?
That's easy.
All right. So Theo is gonna kind of temporarily have to dislodge Ren just so he can switch around his pack and get out the bow and hand him the torch. And then they can reestablish their little stack shape there. So it says, when you guys see a train, you let me know. I'll get ready. We'll light an arrow on fire and we'll shoot it, hopefully, eye point, where they'd be able to see it in advance. Might be enough to at least catch their attention. I mean, that's not normally something that you would see in the night sky, right?
You're not wrong. And if you can hit the windshield of the train, then they might slow down? Question mark?
I mean...
You just hear Chlor over on the side just start going. Dun, 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 dun.
We give the bardic inspiration back.
Providing you with absolutely nothing except for terrible sounding humming.
I love it. It's beautiful. Theo says, I never heard that song before. Now, that's a different one than you always sang when we were on the road. Gonna have to teach me that one later, good buddy.
Sure.
So we're gonna
So
jump
we're-
back
so-
to
yep.
to
Right,
Penn
back to the year
and
two.
Bob. Hey,
Raining train on the way, Ben and Bob. Penn and Bob.
Yep. So Penn and Bob, you just heard another deeper, kind of gurgly groan from inside the train car.
And we're still trying to extract this guy, right?
The first guy you got out, you only just heard the other one, and Penn
Yeah,
was lamenting the fact that they've already done a good deed for the day.
Oh yeah, and I was like, all right, let's go in and get him. But that's as far as we've gotten. So, are we gonna do another good deed, or?
I didn't hear anything.
All right, fine. All right, I'm trying to go back in to get him out.
All right. So
Penn hovers because he's formed a slight attachment to Bob, and while not going to assist, is also there to assist if something happens to Bob.
Just in case, a
So where
precautionary
before you were
measure.
both moving body parts around, this time it's more like Penn is just kind of sitting outside of it, just looking in,
I'm
watching.
just sort of watching carefully,
If you need me, I'm right here.
trying to set this guy up a little bit better, maybe realign some stuff.
Okay, that makes perfectly good sense.
All right, well, if you're going to do that, roll me a medicine check.
That one!
Oh,
And that's
Holy
3.
cow.
We haven't decided what's going to happen, but
That's
there's 3 nat ones. So something, we need to come up with something for that, because I know we talked about it and it's been a month, so I forgot. Well, all right, 3 nat ones. So Penn,
History has been made, people.
you look over at his arm and his legs.
Oh
You're
dear.
like, I think I can handle the arms, and the one is kind of possibly just kind of out of its socket. It looks mostly intact, but he's not really doing much with it. And you walk over, and as you try to pop the shoulder back in, because you learned things like that back in medical school, it's not going back in as easily as you're trying to push it back. You're trying to leverage it. And if he had started calming down, he's not anymore. As he's trying to, you can now feel as he's trying, some of the muscles in his arm are trying to struggle against you as you're trying to leverage it into place and pop it back in. And with a loud yelp, you do finally feel it give, and his eyes just go wide, and he just kind of falls over. As far as you can tell, he is still breathing. Bob, you are trying to find the source of that.
No. Actually, I'm trying to decide if the word leverage is a verb or. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, back to.
Yeah, leverage would count as a verb.
If you're trying to leverage something back into place, it just has an awkward turn to it.
Yeah, I'm not an English
No, I
major.
get it. I get it. I'm being nitpicky. Moving on now.
Trying to get
so we're
leverage
looking-
to pop it back into place. There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm listening intently, trying to track myself towards, use my bat-like senses to find the source of the moaning.
All right, give me an investigation check.
Investigation. All right, investigation. Yes, number 4.
Woo!
That
Okay, it's actually it's a 2 after I put my plus one.
I was gonna say mine was a 3, but it was still a nat 1 to roll.
Mm-hmm.
As you are walking over, trying to find, because this one was sounding like it was on the other side of the car, you take a step and you hear gurgly, and then it stops.
Hey, bud, why'd you stop gurgling?
Can I hear Bob? Is it quiet enough I can hear him moving around in the train?
Now it is.
So I'm gonna reach around my feet, and it's like, hey, still with me, aren't you?
I mean, you can kind of see some, there's torsos and different levels of attachment to their limbs and things, and
Now, these are physical attachments, not emotional, right?
if there's emotional attachments at this stage, I don't know how that's still working, but
Okay.
as you continue to move things around, you don't see anyone who's making any, or hear anyone who's making any particular noises.
Did you lose your friend in there?
I think I did. I'm gonna come back out. I think things have taken a horrible turn in here.
You're taking a quiet turn out here.
The lamp that was dimly lighting is slowly going out.
It is symbolic of, oh wow, no, we're not gonna do that. All right.
Woo!
It was a tour of the storytelling. All right, so I'm headed back outside.
Penn, give me a perception check as Bob is clambering himself out and try to carefully not cut himself up on glass and everything.
9.
You see a dark object with lights very quickly approaching where you know the disconnect of the rails, and it does not appear to be slowing down as another one careens off and begins in a similar path. This one hits a roughly the same divot and slides up, and instead of bouncing like the other one kind of had, it cuts deeper into the ravine and comes to a loud crunch as it stops merely 30, 40 feet from the track.
Oh boy.
Penn brings a hand up to his face and just sort of solemnly looks at what's occurring, and then looks at Bob. And Bob, I think we should take our fella here and go back to the group before more arrive.
I think you may be onto something, because we're not doing any good here, and we most assuredly don't have the abilities to set up a field hospital, which is what this is going to take in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, we should skedaddle with what we have.
Yeah, let's consider this triage successful and get out of here.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Do you use any more heals on this guy, or you just kind of pick him up and start hauling him with you?
We're going to pick him up and start hauling him.
Who's carrying him?
I could do it. Or, you know what? Can we makeshift a litter very quickly around here? I mean, there's building materials. Is there anything
Can we make a sled?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a sail or a wrap or a giant piece of fabric?
I mean, there's lots of fabric that are about, long sleeve shirt size, or even machinist clothing style.
Any chunks of wood we can use to construct a support that we can put these long sleeve shirt size pieces of fabric between?
There's more pieces of metal than there are necessarily wood. It looks like wood was just roughly for the frame, from what you can tell.
Any pieces of wood we could use?
Is there a piece of sheet metal that looks like we could fold a body onto it? And
How about you
pull it
both
along?
give me investigation checks in regards to finding materials to build a sled?
Can we
Or
find
gurney.
a roll of tinfoil?
Surprisingly, yes. It has a sandwich in it, but surprisingly. No, you'd have to.
That's my
give me
second one in a
investigation
row,
check.
by the way.
Oh my gosh, you guys. This is why we can't have nice things.
The random number
Hey, I got
generator.
a dirty 20 to balance it. 5 nat 1s in a game is pretty rough, though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, dirty 20. As you go around, you do find that there's a couple of pieces of metal, mostly. The wood is mostly splinters. There's a few that are, 3 or 4 feet long, but it's lots of splintery, sharp edges. It's not exactly in the most structurally sound state. Most of them are smaller than that, but there's a few that are in that range. But there's definitely sheets of metal, couple feet by couple feet. It's panels that you can tell were once roofing. They're kind of crumpled from having, been crunched and then rolled down a hill, but there's some-ish that are kind of in an okay for a maybe sled. And
Let's
there's
give it a
rivet
shot.
holes. There's rivet holes already in it.
Okay. I think we should try to makeshift this. Do we need to check our engineering skills?
This is pretty straightforward. It's more just a matter of, do you guys have any rope or things that you can use as rope to turn the sheet of metal into a sled?
I have rope.
All right.
I got 50 feet of rope.
I apparently don't have rope. That's weird. I always have rope. What the hell? All right, we got rope.
Because you got yourself
Money.
roped into this situation.
Yeah.
So, Penn, you take a length of your rope and you just kind of tie a knot in one rivet hole and tie a knot in another rivet hole, and you now have a crude, draggable sled.
Cool.
We will place our dying friend on it.
Yeah. It's about 3 feet by 4 feet. It's not huge. I mean, that's not small. That's really, it's, from what you can tell, it's probably a piece of the roofing. It's got a big ripple in the middle of it, but it should slide better than dragging from the sand.
Cool.
And so you load up your friend on it.
Yep.
He doesn't say anything. He's still out. Still appears to be breathing, but he's still out.
The rest
Kinda
will do him wonders.
Limply, just kind of onto the sled. And as you head back towards the rest of your friends, how close do you go to the other train that has stopped way more abruptly?
If we go close and we hear someone moaning, we're going to have to stop. If we go far and we don't hear them, we don't have to stop.
Bingo. We're gonna keep our distance around all of the wreckages currently occurring.
There we go. We're
Sam
manipulating
is so
the
glad
situation
that
to
Theo
keep
is
it
not
clean.
with the group with them right now. That face. Oh my gosh. All right. It is 10:30. We're going to take a couple minute break, and then we're going to pick back up with Theo, Clore, and Renningham as the party tries to figure out how to handle this situation. So we'll be back in like 15 minutes, guys. We're gonna get some drinks and food and chill out. So you guys can do the same.
Perfect.
And we're back. So, where we last left off, Penn and Bob had managed to extricate a single live individual. Looks to be elven or half elven. Kind of hard to tell with the level of wounding. Build a sled for him and are slowly making their way back towards where the rest of the party is. The rest of the party is currently quite a ways away as they've continued to travel in the direction that the trains have been coming from in order to try and signal them to slow down or stop. As they were doing so, another train came down and they were not able to slow it down, and it also derailed and crashed into the same ravine as the first one had made. And this one, instead of flipping and rolling up the hill and then rolling back down, appears to have stopped short immediately, barreling into the sand. And that's where we left off. We were getting ready to connect with Theo and Clore and Renningham.
So like I said, guys, I can't really see much here, so I'm relying on you two to let me know when another train is coming, tell me which track it's on. What we'll do is we'll light an arrow or two on fire, we'll launch it, one maybe lower down, one a little bit higher up in the same direction of the train, and hopefully it'll catch their attention. It's worth a
Sounds
shot,
good.
right?
Sounds good.
Worth a shot.
Pun not intended.
It was intended.
Always take credit for it.
If I were gonna intentionally make a ranger pun, it would be even worse.
Fine, we'll abstain from now, and then when it's
We'll
time for
allow.
you to make a pun.
Don't test me. I'll look up a list. I'll have like a list of god-awful ranger puns. They'll be
so you make them
unbearable.
up, or you look up a list. You don't just make them up on the fly. Like what is?
You just
what is
missed
this,
that one,
amateur
didn't you?
hour?
Unbearable.
Ooh.
Fine. I'll give you that one. That rides a line. It's a ranger /
It's a
druid
hunter
joke.
ranger. Come on.
I don't know.
Slightly
Anyway.
in range.
You are waiting to see if a train coming on the north side or the right-hand side, opposite from where you just tried to stop a train, and
Yeah, Theo hasn't quite figured out the pattern, so he's relying on the two other people to tell him, when is coming or when one is coming where it is, and he's just gonna focus on the practical part of trying to do the alert.
Yeah. Hey, do we care about the trains going the other direction?
nah.
Yeah, because they're going away. So why would we stop them? If they make
Right.
it through, they're fine. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna watch for trains coming back down the track that is going to eventually get them off of the track.
Right, like literally all Theo wants is just someone to tell him where it is in enough time that he's gonna be able to
Yeah.
do this.
Yep. So that's what we're doing.
All right, so the cadence works out to being where it's roughly 10 minutes
Right.
on the same when it's on the same side.
Right. Because it's
'Cause they're now
it's
only
5,
coming-
but it's every other.
Yeah, so both
Right.
there's no other this time because it's only one direction.
Right. So
Yeah.
we'll just wait the 10 minutes. We'll keep moving though, so that we can get closer because we're trying to get to the end. So we'll keep moving, and roughly it should be a little less than 10 minutes because we're going towards it.
Correct.
We'll attempt round 2 of notifying.
It's round 3, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
waving
Who's
and
count?
yelling.
Who's counting?
The note taker.
The party scribe. All right, so you guys are hoofing it now, I guess.
Oh yeah.
As Penn and Bob can no longer go at full speed as they are dragging a sled with a wounded individual. But you guys continue heading west, and it is, just over like 7 minutes or so before you can see in the distance another train. And for you, Theo, the darkness is settling in such a way where now all that you can tell is there's a little faint white spot.
There's a little
out in the
light.
distant.
All right.
And
That's helpful
that-
at least.
that's the most that you can tell, where those of you with dark vision, it's when it gets closer you can make out more details than Theo can, because dark vision also has a limit in its range. So you guys are now limited to like a single white
All right.
speck as it glows.
I'm gonna
in the
continue.
distance.
I'm going to continue to monitor the train tracks as well, kind of using my tracking knowledge to try and feel like, the
Your tracking
vibrations
knowledge, your tracking
Yeah.
knowledge.
Oh yeah,
Come
my
on.
tracking knowledge, my
Train
hunting
track.
knowledge. Train tracks. You see what I'm saying?
Choo-choo.
Yeah, get it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna try and see if I can tell at least the train tracks directly to my left and right that I can, because it's so dark. Those are the only ones I can see. If that helps me hear the train coming before I can see it coming.
All right. And
as
just
it-
waiting for that signal.
I don't know
Sure.
if it vibrates as much when it's out in the middle of the open. But
So from before when you were walking just alongside the single track that you could feel it coming from a little bit of a distance. The rumbling would get, more prominent as it approached. While these tracks are now wider, and it's kind of, you try to put your head to it and kind of listen and feel for the vibrations, and they're there. They're just more faint. They're
can
not
I
as
go?
prominent
Can
until
I
it gets
go
much
to each
closer.
one? Can I go to each one of the on the ones on our side that are coming in the direction that we're expecting, and see if there's one that's louder or giving more of a sign that one might be approaching?
Give me. I'm trying to think of what the right check for this would be, because
Would it be perception?
I guess it would be. That's the closest thing I can come up with, because it's a very particular type of perception as you're tuning in. But yeah,
Yeah.
so Chlor, roll me a perception check.
I'm not good at these guys.
Actually, for this, with advantage, I have something in mind for you. With advantage.
Lucky.
Well, that was different because that's an 18.
Woohoo!
All right. So, actually, give me one more. Give me a just straight intelligence roll. Just give me a straight intelligence
Oh,
roll.
come on.
No,
boo,
no,
boo this
no.
man.
There's-
Boo
there's-
this man.
He's got a reason, guys. He's got a reason. Let's trust the DM.
Natural 20 for
Oh,
a
save.
22. You cannot stop this
But
train.
that was a save. That
So-
wasn't a check.
That is the save.
Doesn't
Oh
count.
no, that was a save.
Well, it's fine. We'll just use the roll, and then add just
Oh, it's
swap
both
the modifier.
plus 2.
Just okay.
I don't get anything extra, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
So, Chlor, you go from where you are and you stand on one of the rails, and you can feel a faint rumbling. And then you
Oh,
go
no.
and stand on one of the next rails and feel a faint rumbling. And you realize that you can run across the length of tracks, and if you step on the rails, you can feel which one is rumbling more prominently than the rest.
Oh, hey.
All right, I would like to find the one that's rumbling more prominently than the rest and announce, hey, this train is coming next. This train is coming next.
Hey, yo.
All right,
this-
buddy.
Yo.
So
I
Chlor just
don't know
kind of
why,
cuts
but
off
it
and just
is.
starts sprinting across the rails off to the left of you guys.
Mhm.
Is it
And
is it
very
like through my
deftly.
boots?
I mean, yeah, think. Have you ever stood near like train tracks as a train goes by and like felt how it kind of like gently rumbles? Have you ever been...
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been near enough trains?
I live next
So
to
when
train
you're
tracks.
when you're within about 15 feet of the tracks, despite the gravel and everything else, you can absolutely feel the ground moving.
Yeah.
So
20 feet away.
yeah. So Chlor, as you run across these and you are touching the actual tracks, you are touching the rails themselves. It's like the fourth one. No, not the fourth one. We just had one on the fourth one. It is the sixth track. You make it across to the sixth track, and it's as you step on it, it is distinctly more more prominent in its vibrations as you just jet it across, and it's the furthest track off to the left.
All right, I'm first going to step off of the track, and then I'll turn around and be like, Theo, over here.
Right, gotcha, buddy. Theo knows that his best range is between 150 to 600 feet. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to alert. He's going to go with 2 arrows. The first one up high to try to catch attention as soon as he's able to ascertain that it would catch probably be within visual range of the approaching train.
Okay, and then
And then the
second
second one a little bit lower. Does that make sense? Like one up
Yes.
high
Yeah, you're just kind
from a
of
distance and one lower. Yeah, exactly.
like you would a flare if you had a flare to just like.
Exactly. That's his goal. So 2 arrows out, 1 ready to shoot. To start with, that one's going to be the first swimming one. The second one will go shortly thereafter. Because
Okay.
what he's trying to do is he's trying to make it clear that this is not a natural sight.
All right, so Theo runs over, and Ridingham, you're on back as Theo is definitely trying to run across the tracks, and you get yourself into position, and you can, as you approach the track, you can feel that this one is where a lot more of the ground shaking.
Well,
to approach.
While that's happening, are these just obviously while it was a little lighter? Are these tracks pretty much straight into the distance? Like they don't really turn as much.
Correct.
For a while.
As far as you can tell. Yeah.
So while Theo is preparing to fire these off, or actually while they're being fired off, I'm gonna shoot 2 Eldritch blasts directly down the train tracks at where I would hope the train would be coming from. To try and I obviously can't tell exactly how close it is, but I'd like to see if I can shoot them right at the window of the next one coming down. However far away it is, I'm just gonna let 2 of them go, and hopefully that also will give a little bit of light as they go down and maybe give us a range.
So
if they hit anything, if they don't hit anything within the 120 feet, then the train's obviously too far away.
Yeah, you have Eldritch Blast has a limited range of 120 feet. So after that, it just kind of fizzles out.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, with the difference in vibration, would I be able to tell if it's that close or it's just significantly louder? So I'm gonna take a gamble.
Give me an insight check. We're just gonna use some of your best judgment.
That is an 8.
You know the light gets bigger as it gets closer, and you kind of have an idea of, from the previous ones passing, of what the ground itself feels like as the trains approach. You tried to put a bonfire, you have an idea of what the range is of when it gets close enough to be able to chuck a bonfire, try to chuck a bonfire inside. You have some of the machinations in your head of how to gauge when it's about 20 or 120 feet from you.
Cool. So I just want to go about maybe 150 then in my head. If I give or take 30, that gives me a little leeway.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily hit the train, but I want to shoot the 2 Eldritch Blasts and then get off the tracks out of the way, obviously. Leave me enough time.
All right.
Okay. There is a plan. So, the train that you can see continues to barrel closer.
How do you want me to do this, DM? Just roll 2 really quick or what?
The first one you're going to... Well, you're not trying to hit
Marking up.
the train car, right? Okay.
Right, no, the whole goal is 1 up high when the train is pretty far out to catch attention. And then the second one shortly thereafter, just so that they see 2 brightly lit things in the sky, and hopefully it catches attention and they know that it's not something that's naturally
So
occurring.
you're really not gonna have to roll for that because you're not aiming for anything in particular. You're just trying to keep
Okay.
getting. You're just shooting the general direction. You don't
Yes.
you don't actually care if it. Gosh, that'd be so.
No, he's not specifically trying to hit anything. He's literally just trying to catch attention. Like, this is like the closest thing that he can think of, because waving the torch wasn't useful. So he's trying to catch attention some other way.
No, I understand. And it's getting darker, so these lights should become a little bit more prominent.
That's the hope.
All right. So the train continues to approach, and what is your? You want to shoot the first one as far out as you can, like arcing wise.
Yeah, when the train is like, pretty far out, so it arcs up in the air, so it can make a path.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to make
and
sure I
catch
know
attention.
how many increments. Like if you're trying to shoot full range of the bow, like increment wise, because you're not.
If he possibly can. I mean, his outside range is 600 feet, but that's assuming like a straight path. He's just trying for as much distance as he can up and down.
That's
I know I'm not describing it very well. It's been a long day, okay? I was at trial all day.
Yeah, and then one of your party members,
Yeah. Don't point fingers.
All right,
well,
okay.
made the suggestion that
think
someone
about
should
this
go
maybe-
get. Okay. So yes, the train is
I made
approaching.
this suggestion. All
The
right,
train is approaching,
let's see.
and you
Let's
are.
aim for like 450 feet out for one of them. So arc aiming 450 feet out, but he wants to arc it. And then the other one, he's going to go for 200 feet out.
All right. So give me someone with dark vision. Give me a perception check as you try to tell Theo when to fire.
I got a 7.
I thought I had dark vision. I don't think I have dark vision.
Oh, perfect. So I have a 7. So I see an arrow fly, and that's it.
It's upsetting. 'Cause I thought I had dark vision.
I do not think you have dark vision. I'm not seeing it on your features there, good sir.
I think at least I'm not the only person without dark vision.
Yeah, dark sucks.
You have a
So-
torch, at least, right next to you. So
I mean, I can cast, prestidigitation, do little sparks.
I mean,
best laid plans.
so Floor, you're like, yeah, no, I think it's close enough.
All right, okay.
And I release my Eldritch Blasts.
There it is. Get blasted.
And you watch as they just kind of. What color are your Eldritch Blasts?
They are actually they're like a very, very light blue, almost white color
Okay.
with like crackling around them as they fly.
Does that
Okay.
change with your mood?
You'll have to find out.
Is it a mood blast?
You'll have to find out. And they
Alright.
they come out of. I guess I haven't done this before, so there's a bracelet that Clore has on, dangling from, is a object in which it looks like the Eldritch Blast gathers, almost looking like it's just gathering into the palm of his hand, but it's really coming from his bracelet that hangs just below his wrist, sending out.
Okay.
I love that. That's super cool.
So you guys get to see as they don't emanate a whole lot of light, but they themselves are very obvious in the darkness as these two about football-sized blasts of light blue eldritch energy just kind of shoot down the tracks, and one right after the other. And you watch about 120 feet or so out, near the very extent of where you'd be able to kind of judge things. You see as they kind of like begin to fizzle at that point and die off a few feet later.
Perception, if I see brakes locking up or anything as it enters my field of view with dark vision, because if not, I would like to fire Eldritch Blast again.
We're going to pause there because the perception check was about whether or not it's in range for Theo to launch their arrow.
Oh, shoot. I screwed up the perception checks, guys, sorry.
All right, we're trying our best, and we can always launch another arrow if it passes and hope that maybe that works too.
I can roll a natural 1 for you.
We've
Me
done that
too.
enough.
So,
We'll
Theo,
set the record.
arrow,
Okay.
launch.
all right. Mhm.
How are you going about this? Because your arrows are, they're meant for hunting. They're not exactly...
They are meant for hunting. They are meant for hunting. Theo knows that his outside range is 600 feet. He's, this is not something he's ever tried before, this particular type of thing. Usually he's targeting something specific, and he's doing it after waiting and taking the time to ready. All he can really do here is his level best. So he's going to wait, like, in ready position, save for actually knocking the arrow. He knows that he can do the draw at least quick enough and kind of position it so that he feels like he'd be ready to pull and release. And when he gets the signal from Chlor, step one is going to be like, kind of as soon as that little light appears in the distance for him, two, or any indication that the train is coming, he's going to, with the torch that Renningham is holding, light the arrow on fire. Draw, breathe, hold as much as he can, and released. And that's the plan, as smoothly as possible.
All right.
It's like he's basically just going on a wing and a prayer here. Years of experience, he's hoping that maybe it'll kick in and do something good. He's got to try. It's worth.
Train is rapidly approaching, and it has got within range of what you expect to be able to do your firing. So, Renningham, I need you to give me a.
I got this.
I got this. You sure you got this?
I got it. It's a real physical die. None of this virtual
I'm
shit.
so nervous. I'm not even the one rolling.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no, don't drop the
throw. I got a
fire.
+2. Here we go. Shit. That's a 13.
Theo pops the arrow up. You grab the arrow, hold it to the torch, make sure that it starts to smolder. You see the smoke and you see the flames from the torch begin to change slightly, and you pass the arrow back down to Theo. Theo, launch that arrow. Just
What do you
go.
want me to do?
I don't know. I'm just, whether you gesticulate, I don't know. But it was, it just
Okay,
fires
all
off the arrow.
Boom. Shot number one. Shot number two. Arrows up, ready to be lit and ready to go.
So this first arrow, I need you, Theo, to roll me some percentile dice.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It's an 87.
Wow.
So this arrow.
It's the driver of the train.
He dies.
As you let go, you watch as the flames that are sitting at the end of the arrowhead just kind of like shoot back as the arrow kind of launches and the flames are like trying to barely trail. And you see as the arrow continues to go, it does get dimmer as it goes, but it manages to stay lit the whole distance. And from what you can tell, it has landed just in front of where the train is as it's passing and getting closer. Fire the second shot. Try it. Let's go again for the second shot. Renningham, another dexterity saving throw.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's a 6.
Oh.
Gets the arrowhead on there. It kind of looks like the first one did. Passes it to Theo. Theo, fire the arrow.
All right, okay. Percentile dice, here we go. 2 buttons this time. That's an 81.
Wow.
So this one, it doesn't look as bright as the first one did. And as you fire it, you are grateful that it has to go a shorter distance, because as it goes, it clips. It's a bright orange glow as it clips the front of the vehicle and just kind of ricochets off, and the train keeps barreling towards you. Chlor, it is now within 120 feet. Or is approaching 120 feet, sorry.
I'm aiming right at the windshield.
All right, 2 more Eldritch Blasts.
Yup. And this time I want to hit it.
Okay, now you're gonna have to roll to hit.
That's fine. I want to hit it. I want to let him know. That's a 12 and a 22.
Okay, so the first Eldritch Blast, as you shoot it off, you can see it fizzles out at the very edge of the 120 feet. And you can kind of see the blue energy kind of splash against the windshield. It doesn't properly impact. However, the second one roll damage.
All right.
4. It's just 1d10. 4 damage, but at least it impacted.
And as it gets closer, because you have dark vision, you can clearly see, and it also has light inside, you can see where suddenly the glass in the front of it fractals as you cracked the glass on the windshield. And you get to hear it first. The deafening screech as the brakes begin to engage, and you see the sparks start to shoot from underneath the train car as it goes by, and also along the tracks as the wheels are sticking and trying to, go, and it just keeps whizzing past by as it tries to go from 150 miles an hour to a halt as fast.
Oh, those wheels are flat. Those wheels aren't circular anymore. They're flat. That's exactly what happened.
Dude, we got it. I think it's stopping. I think it's stopping.
We gotta go that way. Maybe they have some way to notify, right? That's what you said, right?
That seems logical to me.
Okay, so let's head back that way.
Okay, DM, does it? We're gonna head back that way. As we head back, does it seem like it's slowing down where we're gonna make it to it?
I mean, it's going very fast. It will take you some time to catch up to where it goes.
It's gonna take
Due to the nature of what's going on, Penn, I need you to roll me some percentile dice.
Okay. Right in the middle.
Okay. And then also, both you and Bob need to roll perception checks.
Okay.
Yay. Thanks. Apparently I'm focusing on the sled.
Ooh, that was nice.
Woo!
That is nice. So,
What do you get?
you got a 23 total. Almost net 20. So, Penn, you hear the screeching noise, and you kind of look up and look around, and you're not entirely sure yet where the source is, and you at first think that it might be the sled behind you, like scraping against rocks or something. However, Bob, you see off in the distance, because you're unhindered by the dragging of the sled. You see off in the distance a dark object with a light, kinda, and suddenly beside it, there's red streaks, what appear to be sparks. Not terribly dissimilar to, oh, actually, you were running in the opposite direction before they did that. Never mind. You didn't see the sparks that Brittany had tried to do. So, yeah, you see a dark object moving with a light on top of it, and at the bottom there's red streaks as it slides across the rails, and it's not.
Is it slides across the rails?
Slides down the rails. That's
okay. Thank you. I was kind of going.
It's not Tokyo drifting across like multiple,
okay, cool.
Deja vu. I've just been in this place. Gosh, that's a meme. All right, so, but you can tell it's definitely trying to slow down, but you're looking at where it is, and where you know the rough end of the track is, and where there is another crashed train vehicle is, and you're watching as it slides off, but with not the same speed, and it kind of connects where the next rail that's in front of it kind of just sits as a girder, and it slides off and just kind of rolls and doesn't careen like the other ones have and basically rocket off. This one just kind of like slides off, is disconnected because there's like tracks that are just offset. So it goes off from one, and now it's kind of like gliding in, over the side of one of the other ones, and then it just kind of rolls off the side. The lights inside are still on. You can hear the glass shatter from a distance.
So I just had a thought, Doug.
That's dangerous.
Have you been watching a lot of Big Bang lately?
No, I haven't watched Big Bang.
I'm feeling an obsession with trains.
No, this was just going to be a fun. This was just supposed to be a fun way of, commuting around this part of the region, and.
But and they keep wrecking.
You keep saying terrorism. It's not. There's no goal. It's just.
Well, the goal was bodies. The goal was what was the word there? Resources. The goal was resources.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Party doesn't know what we're talking about.
I don't think I ever use those words in front of anybody except
No, I'm not saying
Never
that
use
Theo
those
knows
words.
this. I'm just saying that the goal was most likely
I
research.
wanted to get on the train. We had this discussion back at the station. I said, let's get on the train. And no, everybody wanted to walk.
Yeah, we were stupid. We should have gotten on the train.
Using that French word. I don't know, this we business.
So, back to Floor,
Let's
Theo,
derail there for a second.
and Rinningham. Oh, yeah, no, I'm trying to track all of the moving parts and all the ramifications of all the things.
Oh no.
Technically, this would be much
luck.
more catastrophic than what's actually being described. A train going from 150 miles an hour to an emergency stop is
Luckily, it's a single car, so keep that in mind. This is like a single mechanized car. It's not like a miles-long train that has the weight of all of that. This is like a single passenger car doing that.
Right, so basically what we would have seen would have been something more like, there is a flaming angel coming at you and nothing but light. It was still moving horrifically fast.
Horrifically.
All right.
So,
Where were we?
Clore, Rinningham, Theo, you guys watch as it zips by and you can see the sudden sparks after you, pretty confident, Clore, that you crack the windshield. And then you see it kind of and careen and roll.
Yeah, I guess we have to decide, y'all, if that they have an operational communication device on that. Do you think it slowed down enough to save what was inside? Or
Maybe.
do we have to move further up the track and try and stop the next one and hope that stops in time to not fall off the tracks?
I think about it this way, like, I don't know exactly how much progress we're making towards the other end right now. If we're assuming that they've got some way to communicate, possibly. I mean, I think Rinningham said it himself, right? He wasn't sure how much help we were actually being.
I mean,
I say that we take the risk. We go check. It'll probably, maybe they got lucky in comparison to the other two.
All right, let's go.
Right.
So I guess.
Doug, your face, I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm tracking where everyone's going. So you guys are now both now heading towards the most recent derailment.
Yeah.
All right, good. I'm just making sure that
The assumption that Theo is operating here under is that, like, he knows they hadn't really traveled very far in comparison to where they had to be. He doesn't know where there's like another way station maybe that would have some sort of communication device, but Clore brought up a good point that, they might have some way to communicate on their turns. So why not take the chance now that they know that there's at least one train that was trying to stop, to see how accurate they were.
Why don't y'all go back and I'll stay out around here.
Or I'll try the same thing that you tried.
Well, I'll come back a little closer. Well, at least that way I can signal you so you can get out of the way if another one comes in 10 minutes.
Okay,
if that makes sense, so it's not a surprise.
That makes sense, Clore. Now, you be careful, okay? Don't let yourself get hit. If you think that you're in any sort of danger, you go ahead and leave too, all right? I don't want anything to happen to you either.
Okay, well, I'm going to stay right here. If anything happens to me, you'll hear it because I'll yell like a little baby.
All right, well, I'll come running. And good shooting, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was going to sprint off with Rinningham into the dark. Neither of them have dark vision. They've got a torch.
You've got a torch.
They've got a torch. They can see what, 15 feet?
Yeah, it's now night. Like, as far as the valley is concerned, like between the light and the valley, and it's effectively night for you guys.
Oh, Rinningham, just for future, because I think I screwed this up. Could I have used your bardic inspiration on one of my attacks as well?
I think so, yeah, because it was still.
So I potentially could have used it on my first Eldritch Blast. Okay, I had to remember that. I screwed that up. But I didn't know if I could use it on attacks too, or just if it was just ability checks.
Yeah, bardic inspiration is good for. Oh, don't select everything. Come on. Ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
All right. I gotta remember that next time. But yeah, I'm just gonna stay here and try and be a warning beacon at least.
Okay. So Theo and Renningham, torch in hand, just start bolting down the track in the opposite direction.
Lynn's got the torch. Theo's doing the running part.
And you know it's going to take you a bit to get there because it was moving quite fast along the rails before it, you guys had kind of head opposite. Yeah, it's gonna take you a bit. Laura, you look deep in thought.
I was trying to think of when I'm by myself, about trying something.
Oh,
and how it might
cool.
and how it might work, but I don't. I was just trying to figure that out in my head.
Okay. Well, we've now split the party into 3 groups, by the way. So
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that the other 2 end up back with the first 2, but we'll see.
But you're keeping track of all of it, right?
doing my damnedest. Which we're gonna get back now to Penn and Bob. So you have just watched.
As we were walking along, looking at stuff going by, going, "Hey, that's kind of weird."
Slides off, rolls off the track. Of the 3 that you've
This
witnessed
technology
so far,
stuff is a problem.
I mean, no, it's just that I believe it. That's definitely within the purview of Bob. So where do you guys? What? You guys just watch another train car just kind of roll off. Like, what are you guys doing?
We've already got 1 wounded. Let's keep on walking. They're just going to keep stacking up, apparently. So the more we stop to treat these people, the more they stack up. The sooner we get back to the destination, go, hey, stop it. The fewer wounded there will be.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. So, shoot, I had a whole. It's gone. I lost my
Your train of thought is derailed.
all puns unintended. Like I totally lost my train of thought.
Aww.
You guys are walking a little. Okay. Yes. So, Bob and Penn, give me perception checks.
Perception.
Yes.
What
I know.
do
Lots
we
of perception
see?
checks. Lots of checks as we go through all of this.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Hey, they were remarkably close.
They are remarkably close. So, off in the distance, you can kind of faintly see a little torch light. It's a different color. It's not the same color as the light on the train cars as they zip past. This one definitely has a nice orangey red glow to it. And as you're heading in its direction, it appears to be heading in your direction. It's only really visible because of how flat everything is out here. And you guys are within, such a distance of each other.
Look at Bob. Did we just wait here?
You know, I kind of like that idea. I'm getting I don't know what to do. Can we let's just sit here and think about it. How's that?
Agreed. We're gonna pause and take a rest.
While we think about our next course of action or inaction,
The
whichever. it is.
critically injured guy in your group.
He's fine.
Penn, just for that, give me a medicine check. Give me a medicine check.
It's dark, okay?
Yeah, Penn. What was your roll, Penn? Tell the world what your roll was, Penn.
This is 7.
As you guys are, walking along, and you're like, yeah, nah, he's fine. You just kind of look back and you see he's still on the sled. You don't see it. You don't see a trail of blood or anything behind him.
All the limbs are still there.
Yeah. So
We're doing okay.
There's a tiny light running at it, or coming closer towards us, presumably. I mean,
yeah, it's slowly but surely getting a little bit brighter.
at the very least, maybe we can ask them for help if it's someone we trust.
I mean, it's coming from the direction your friends went, so.
Yeah, that'll work.
So, for reference, with the amount of time you guys have traveled, you have gone from the farthest train car out in terms of, distance from the rails, and you were walking towards the one that hit the divot that the first one had made and crunched there. And you're basically stopped in between the two, while the third one basically zipped past both of them and is slightly further down, rolled off the side of the track. Just so you guys know, if there's a triangle, if here's the track, there's one over here, There's one like here, and the one that you guys came from is way down here. So you guys are somewhere around here as you're heading back towards the track and where your friends are. Is that kind of? Yeah, yeah. I really need. I didn't make a map like as topographical as I was. I didn't plan on this.
I thought we were just in a desert.
That's all it was supposed to be, guys. That's literally all this was supposed to be. You did this. You did this.
I did
do
nothing.
it.
I
feel like you're looking
We
at
know
me.
nothing.
You as the players, you guys did this.
Use
Hey,
Oh, I
there's a-
definitely felt that was it.
Oh, well.
I did do this.
It's true.
I did do this.
So,
It's literally all my fault.
Think of your actions. Think of what you've done. When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Penn and Bob
Never.
continue to, rest there and keep an eye on their friend who's just staying there on the sled, not moving, not really doing anything. You guys just kind of sit there. And you can see off in the distance where the one that slid off the rails, there now appears to be movement. There seems to be shadows moving in front of the dim light out in the distance as we jump
It's the
to
coyotes are stalking.
as we jump to Theo and Renningham, who are making full sprints towards all of this.
All I gotta say is thank goodness I'm used to running hither and yon. Whew.
I'm glad I'm not the one using my legs.
Well, if I can move a bit faster than you, get us both where we're going, why not, right? I mean, you're lighter than my little brother.
Right.
Yeah, DM Theo is just moving.
Yep.
His goal
Full
is to
tilt.
find that third train car. That is it. Even passing by the other two, if anything, it's just gonna be like a passing sort of mention.
As far as you can tell, Theo, you don't see them.
So we can't see them, right? Of course,
No.
because I'm pretty much he's beat out.
Uh,
Yeah, no.
So
Theo's
you're
just
just-
following the tracks because he knows where the tracks are and he knows that he has to
Yep.
go the opposite direction that he was going.
and you can see the dim-ish light way off in the distance that appears to be just off to the side of the.
That's the goal.
direction
Is
of
the
the
dim
tracks.
lights.
And
Oh, buddy, we're making our way there as fast as we can. I'm sure hopeful that Clore's right.
and it takes you a little over a minute to full sprint, full tilt, make the distance back to where you had started at where the tracks had separated, and you can now see for sure that there is movement in and around the light. Because yes, it may be dark out, but there's a source of light out in the distance that you can see kind of flickering and changing.
Mhm.
And so you keep on.
That fills him with some excitement. Yeah, he's now feeling a little bit energized by that. There's this, Ren, look at that! And he points ahead, with the motion. He says, "Do you see what I see?"
So,
And he kind of laughs a little bit.
Floor, are you continuing to head down the tracks, or are you just staying put?
I actually kind of want to walk back toward everybody as well. I just want to go at a very slow pace so that I can be kind of a warning. I'm not trying to get any further away from anybody, but I just want to stay so we have some semblance of warning now that I've kind of gotten a rhythm of figuring out where the next train is coming from, so that everybody down that hopefully is finding the train that's not been completely destroyed has time to get out of the way before the next one comes and does destroy everybody. So I just kind of want to go. So I'm going to go from track to track again, of just the
Feel
ones
for
that I
which
know
one.
come in this direction, and see if I can feel any difference. It's a little further away from that 10-minute mark, so it'll probably be more subtle, but I want to feel if I can feel any difference again.
Okay. And as you go across the tracks right now, you don't feel hardly anything. It's just
From any of them.
no, not yet.
Right.
You've got some time. It only it whizzed past you. It's going crazy fast. It's you've got a couple minutes.
Can I go to, let's see, we had one from the 4th, the 6th, and the 10th track, correct?
Yes.
I think is what the ones were. Can I pick one, like the 8th one?
Yeah, you can head further down and just
And-
kind of.
And just, this time I want to get down on my hands and knees and put my hands on the physical metal.
Okay.
And I don't really know. See, Chlor's kind of confused. See if he can listen,
Put your
or
ear to the rail.
put my ear to the rail and see if it helps me glean any more information from
All right.
from cars coming.
Give me another perception check, and we'll say with advantage. With
It
advantage.
was almost a natural 20. We'll go with a 16.
Okay, cool. You listen there for a minute and a half, and you don't hear anything on this particular rail.
All right. I'll spend a minute on each rail that I can get to that doesn't have that hasn't gone yet. I want to skip the ones that have gone yet. I'm assuming that they're not going to repeat, and then we'll just see if I can glean anything and try and get a warning out to everybody.
So you go to like the 9th rail, like the next one over, eliminate that.
Yeah, we'll go to
side.
the next one over. Yep.
Okay. Give me another perception check with advantage.
Man. There it is.
There it is. Finally, nat 20. Let's go.
He sees everything.
After about 30 seconds, it's not that you can. Hearing is the wrong word. You kind of feel in like the back of like your teeth, like a very faint vibration as you lay your head there. It's very faint, and it wasn't there when you were on the other track. There's a faint, and you can kind of feel it's a rhythmic, like, and it's the first time you've actually listened to the cadence of it, as opposed to just waiting for it to start rumbling. You can actually feel the rhythm of the tire wheels as they roll on the track. And you think you think it's on this one?
I'm going to oh man. I'm going to just immediately, it hasn't even started rumbling yet, so it's not very close. I'm just going to immediately turn around and fire 2 Eldritch Blast, but I want to go, it's 120 feet, so I want to go kind of at a 45-degree angle back towards everybody. Hopefully it'll be enough for them to trace it and just let them know another one's coming to get everybody out of the way.
Okay. Next closest group would be Theo and Renningham. I need Renningham specifically, as Theo is trying to run and keep an eye on the rails and head in the right direction. Renningham, roll me a perception check. As you guys deal with all these planes, trains, and automobiles.
Roll high.
So, 'twas a natural 20, but my perception's a -1.
Still not 20, right?
Yeah.
DM,
Still,
I think
I
that
mean, like
brings us to-
legally,
three.
it's a nat 20.
for the evening.
That is 3 natural 20s for the evening. So we've had 5 natural 1s and 3 natural 20s for the evening. We've had a lot of skill checks this evening, which is, interesting. But you know what? Here we go. Renningham, you are holding the torch out while Theo just keeps hightailing it. And as you're just kind of looking around, trying to keep track of everything, you happen to glance back as you see out of the corner of your eye a bright blue arc kind of go just into the horizon. And then a second one shortly afterwards from the direction that you knew Chlor had been.
Well, Theo, do you know of anything that Chlor had that was able to send a signal?
Yeah, I think he said that he was going to do that thing that he'd done before down on the train tracks, the shiny, sparky blue-white thing.
Shiny, sparky blue. Well, there's some shiny, sparky blue light happening.
Oh, he said that meant that another train is possibly coming, so we better step it up, buddy, and get to that other train as fast as possible.
Pick up the pace.
For reference, Chlor, you can't see any light in the distance yet. It's just from that sensation on the track.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to send the signal as soon as possible.
Yeah,
All right.
we have no clue how far out it is. We just know that we saw a symbol, so we're like, okay, all right, time to move.
All right, jumping ahead to Bob and Penn. Bob, you were waving your hands
Do
emphatically.
we see any of this light
That's what
stuff?
we're going to get
this
to
light-
next. I was going closest, from... Oh,
Okay.
roll me... both of you, really, because you're both chilling there. Roll me some perception checks, the two of you.
The lack thereof.
Ooh.
7 and 9.
We're doing not so good this time around.
You're tired, guys. Come on.
So, you can still see the faint orange-red dot just kind of slowly moving in your general direction. Only, I mean, you guys are kind of tangential. Triangles are weird like that. Definitely seems to be moving along the track as he keeps hightailing it. And then you're not sure because it was gone in a fraction of a second. There was like a flash off to the left, like off to the west, but it's gone now. I don't know.
Hey, Penn, how much you want to bet that thing derails?
Oh, no.
Huh. Sure would be nice if we could stop it, but all we could do is sit here and... Nah, it's a little bit too calloused. I was going to say, let's bet on which side it goes, left or right.
A man has died. Men have died.
I was going with the left this time, but okay.
Let's see, what is my alignment again? Or what is it supposed to be? Yeah, I can't do that. Okay.
What is your alignment?
Huh.
Now you got me curious. Okay, that's your alignment. Gotcha. All right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do an alignment check. Yeah.
That may or may not have been the D20 earlier.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So nothing we can do except sit here and watch the show. I wonder what that flash was all about. Got any ideas?
Oh no, we have to sit here and wait.
Yeah.
It's terrible. He like leans over onto his other arm and like enjoys the peaceful rest.
Yeah, we're terrible. Hey, how's our patient doing? Still alive back there, buddy?
Leans over to check the pulse. Can I feel a pulse?
Give me a medicine check.
Oh no. Hey! Nat 20! 23!
Nice. That's the fourth nat 20 of the night. Oh my gosh. Tonight is all the crits, up and down. You reach over and you feel on his neck. I want, Bob, I want you to roll me some percentile dice.
Okay.
Love it.
D100s. Not only, Penn, is there no pulse. He's cold.
Oh.
I guess that's one less thing we have to drag around.
Yeah, it was getting a little tiring on my back anyway.
No.
Penn, with that medicine check and the no pulse and the cold, you suspect there is a good chance he wasn't even alive when you put him on the sled.
The shock of being
We're bad at medicine.
manhandled, kill the poor guy. Oh no.
We are bad at medicine.
I mean, I didn't say I completed med school.
Well, we kind of got nominated, but still. We're
I was
not
good at the
it.
sewing part. That was easy, especially when they weren't. Look, I can fix this hole up right. It'll look perfect when I'm done with it now.
So, Penn, you remind me of Dr. Zed from... Or Dr. Ned? Dr. Zed from
Dr. Zed.
Borderlands. Dr. Zed. I may not have a med school degree.
When I was a veterinarian... Oh, wait. Different story.
Okay. So, is there anything else you guys do while you sit up there after checking on your friend?
I look at Bob for a second, and Bob, I have a driving need to conduct an experiment, and if you're going to have an aversion to this body looking concernably different.
You know, I've heard tales of people going and snatching bodies and conducting experiments to find out how they work. I guess that's just part of this whole modern newfangled medicine science stuff. So I don't know. It's creepy to me, but I'll tell you what. I'm going to look over here this other way because I've heard that it happens.
He's looking the other way, Penn.
I know, and that almost threw me off because I almost didn't expect that.
Oh, don't worry. Bob did not do well in his alignment check the first time, and doesn't do well this time.
What? What?
So, anyway, moving on. Chlor, how you doing? What's going on, bud?
And I am just trying to figure this thing out. So I'm back down. I want to be back down on the train tracks, like listening again.
Okay.
And I want to kind of keep track of the change and what I'm hearing and feeling and like you said, it's not really hearing. It's just kind of like a
Sensation.
yeah. And I want to kind of see if I can tell when that turns into a rumble or when it's really getting legitimately close.
So it's only about another 90 seconds or so of listening that the vibration now is something you can feel on your hands. So you know you only have a couple of minutes. Like your time is coming very short as the train is approaching quite quickly. So it went from a sensation in your mouth and you know is turning into something where you can feel with your hands, which means it's not far from something you'll be able to feel under your feet with your boots on.
All right, I'll fire 2 more up in the air, just trying to warn it. And then after I fire, I want to, keep working back toward the party, a little bit at a time, but every little bit I want to re-feel and see how close it's going to get and see if it helps me understand. I'm very curious about this.
All right, so you're running backwards and you're just like popping them off as you can. I need all 4. I need Theo. No, not actually 3, because Theo's still running forward. I need Rinningham, Penn, and Bob to all give me perception checks.
19. Apparently not having a passenger any longer has given me some better focus.
The 14.
So, 7.
Yeah. I can't see nothing.
So you're still kind of fixated on the red glowing light as it goes, and you again, like, pretty sure you see something off in the distance. However, Penn, now that you're no longer distracted by do I have to keep this guy alive or not, you happen to just be looking backwards and just all of a sudden you see these blue arcs kind of pop into the sky, and Rinningham, you see another set of blue arcs pop into the sky as Theo continues to run with you on his back.
Well,
Hey,
it
Bob.
looks like we have more blue lighting sparkies.
Oh, great. Now, whether that means it's still on its way. Good to know.
So, at this point, Theo and Rinningham, you guys have made it past where the trains had separated. Or the tracks had separated, and you guys are now running along where the track is now kind of buckled and messed up. And you can see just probably another 150 feet in front of you is a mass that has lights on and people moving about it. You can kind of make out that there's definitely more motion in this one.
That's the goal. That's Theo's only goal. He's focused entirely on that goal.
As you beeline towards it. Penn, what do you do with the thing that you notice?
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
If you were in the desert with a band of semi-vagrant concerning individuals, not really sure where you're going at all in life at this point, and suddenly odd things continued happening throughout this whole night, what would you interpret a bunch of decidedly marking lights in the sky in the general direction we might have come from earlier-ish? What do you think that could mean? Is it a sign from heaven? Is it a sign from, what would you take that?
Well, I'm not sure that it would. Well, it could be divine interference, but with the proliferation of clerical types and folks that are fascinated with arcane magic, most likely it was probably of a mortal source because gods don't really show up very often.
Sure.
So I'm gonna guess that probably somebody who has access to some kind of spell casting is up to something. I don't know. Maybe they're fighting off a murder of crows, or I don't know. There's no telling.
Well, let's consider this. We have 3 wrecked trains in the
There's more to
vicinity.
come.
Exactly. And presumably, if we anticipate more to come, because we're not really sure why they're all crashing in the first place, but they don't seem to be stopping.
True.
wouldn't
Nobody's figured
that-
out that they're not getting to. That brings up a good question. How long do they have to have a train not come in before they figure out that they're not getting to their destination?
Someone should have noticed by now, I feel like.
would
There should
think.
have been another waypoint that people were like, hit this.
Yeah.
I-
You would think. But anyway, as you were saying, sorry.
No, of course. But as we're sitting here waiting for presumably the next round of disturbances, maybe you were trying to tell us something.
You think somebody's
It's
trying
been
to
a
tell us?
recurring incident.
Yeah.
I think
Think maybe we should go investigate?
possibly.
I mean, we're not
Can't hurt.
doing anything else, and we've kind of been.
And we
relieved
don't
of-
exactly have dead weight with us anymore.
Oh, I was going to just say we've been relieved of our responsibilities, but yeah, we may as well go investigate.
Of course. That's the only right thing to do when something unnatural happens in the natural area. Is to
Well, no, it depends on how unnatural it is. In some cases, going the opposite direction is the right thing to do.
So do we run?
This is no big deal. We're going that way. I mean, you had to bring it to
Oh.
my attention. Jeez, let's go.
We start shuffling off towards the light.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We have dropped our dead weight and we're moving towards the light.
So you guys have waned philosophically for, some time about when and how to do good in this universe, I suppose. And which light are you heading towards? The one that is the derailed train car that has light, or are you heading towards the orange-red light? Or are you heading towards the blue light way off in the distance? Which light? There's lots of lights.
Probably the orange one that we originally had decided to move towards. We're definitely moving towards it more quickly. Can we tell from our angle of where we're at? Can we make a conjecture? Can I make the conjecture that the light is going towards the light of the wreck?
I would say, yeah, from the way you guys have been sitting and watching this whole time, you can definitely tell that it's not heading to you directly. It's definitely heading towards where there is another body, a source of light.
I look over at Bob and explain this conjecture. I'm pretty sure this group is going to help the most recent wreck, it would seem. If we go over there, we're going to be tasked with assisting.
Which is okay. I mean, we're not doing anything else.
No, that's true. We might have better odds next time.
That's true.
It was very stacked against us.
Yeah.
Multiples were stacked against it. We had to stack a bunch of things against other things in order to get the one stack against us out.
Yes. There's a lot of stacking going on, but I'm going to agree.
We'll make our way probably towards the wrecked carriage at this point.
Yep. Let's go that way.
Okay, so Penn and Bob start to make their way. Are you bringing the sled with you?
No.
All right. Your rope is.
But
now
I am
pinned-
taking my rope back.
Okay. You're untying the rope from it. Okay. Cool. You take a moment, untie the rope. Off you guys go, and you guys are now heading towards the other. You guys are heading towards the light, as Theo and Rinningham also head towards light, while Clore continues to run backwards, firing off warning shots to try to get people's attention. We are going to adjourn for tonight. It is now midnight.
Thank you, DM. That was super fun.
That was
Up everyone.
groovy.
Clore, I think Clore is the MVP here.
Not me.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say, Clore, I need you to roll me another d20.
Oh, we're gonna do this before we leave, huh?
Yeah, I just gotta know something. I just gotta
Don't we always end on some sort of chaotic note? I don't think we've ever really ended
A
on
17 DM.
That means you've completed the quest
As
and accomplished
you-
all of our goals.
As you are firing off these shots, running backwards, you notice that the bracelet that you've been firing these Eldritch Blasts from tingles. It's a warm sensation on your wrist as you keep firing these off. And it's noticeable, not necessarily uncomfortable, but it's there.
Does it seem constant, or is it just when I fire off the blast?
It's as you fire off each of the ones. And that's where we're going to adjourn tonight.
Thank you, DM.
Interesting.
Thank you, DM. That's
Thank
super
you.
fun.
All right. Well, cool. Been fun hanging with you guys. See you guys for more D&D, hopefully soon on a Tuesday. We'll see. Until then, have a good night.
Going up on a Tuesday.